Good evening everybody and welcome to Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live for this edition of BSR Race Night. Tonight, the drivers of the BSR Porsche Cup and the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship are tackling the Summit Point Raceway in the United States, West Virginia to be exact. Alex Simpson is with me, World Championship driver. I'm Andrew Woodhouse, of course, and Alex, well, Summit Point is one of the first circuits that you drive on iRacing, and well, it kind of stays with these drivers, doesn't it? Like a bad dream.
Yeah, that's it. Hello everybody, good to be here. Looking forward to this one. Going to be a great night, action-packed, non-stop. Yeah, button clicking for us with packed grids and frantic action. And yeah, the Summit Point circuit, like you say, it's back to our rookie days, isn't it? You know, so lots of good memories with the MX-5 and maybe some bad ones as well for some people who struggle to get out of rookies, whichever way you did it. But I know for myself, as soon as I could get out of the MX-5s, I was long gone, so didn't see much of this circuit again. But yeah, this will be interesting sort of combo today. So the obviously the Porsche and then the Kia as well, for two very different cars, two very different races as well. 22 cars for the Porsche. The championship leader, as far as I can tell, is not here at the moment. But you know, it will still be a good race, and so it looks like a reasonable grid and growing with a bit of popularity by the looks of it.
Yeah, we make a joke or two about the circuit, but it is a very good circuit, and it's got a nice flow to it. It's you need to be committed through here, and mistakes can be made, and you can easily end up off into the trees if you may get it wrong.
Oh, I mean, how many times have we seen them in the trees, especially in the BSRTC as well? So just a couple of little knocks here and there, and perhaps some quarter panels, and some cars just get flung. So yeah, there's some places where you can get some serious air in this circuit as well. So yeah, once you've left the rookie days and you're not worried about it, trust me, those you can go hunting for places to do some serious jumps in this circuit. Almost as good as the Bathurst one coming down the straight.
I believe. Yeah, that's just got me completely now, because I remember that one. But this is where Rusty Laidler, I believe, we made a start and went on the grass for 300 yards before the first corner. So yeah, that was interesting for us all. Be glad though, Alex, that we're not racing on the Jefferson layout, because I was talking to someone the other night and they said they had their first race in iRacing on the Jefferson layout. It might have even been Adam. Can you imagine having to do that track as your first ever race?
Well, that'll wake you up a bit, wouldn't it? Nice and tight. Yeah. Very, very interesting. So.
I still get lost around there, I must admit, as we're qualifying is over. 10 minutes of qualifying, of course. 12-lap race around Summit Point. It's going to go by quickly because it's only a 1 minute 10-second lap round here, and Tommy Osgaard is the man. Well, he took victory, 2 victories last week. Fantastic style, especially the second one where he won by 4 1,000ths of a second. He's got some competition though, a man who won a British GT race last week, I believe, Will Tregurtha, and then Josh Thompson behind him. Steve Hefford is 4th. Sam Kumo in 5th. There's still a couple of drivers coming across. Actually, Taylor Lane has just come across, but doesn't improve. Sam Kumo likewise doesn't improve either. I believe they're the last ones that are still out on a lap. I wonder if Simon Landamore's on a lap, because he looks like he's giving it some through the final sector. We'll see what he does. He was lowest of everybody, in fact, for this run. Obviously hasn't got a decent run in. That might be a corner cut indeed on the final corner. Over the line he comes. Landamore, as time has expired, does an invalidated lap, and that may have been that final corner there, Alex, that stuffed him a little bit.
Yeah, sadly we didn't quite see that on screen, but yeah, no additional time set. But yeah, that's a pretty strong grid, isn't it? You think Tommy has done a fair bit of real racing himself, also a driver coach in real life as well, so does a lot. And like you say, Will Tregurtha won first race in GT4, got himself a podium, and then at Rockingham this week as well, won that GT4 class. So he's taken that series with a bit of a bang after winning Ginetta Juniors last year. So there's some serious talent out there. Josh Thompson in 3rd. He does a fair bit of karting as well. So yeah, there's some interesting drivers out there, and of course some of our sort of veterans to the series just a few tenths of a second off of those as well. So it's going to be interesting. Like I say, I'm a bit disappointed that we haven't got Andy Shell and Matt around to give these guys a little bit of a run for their money, because I think that would have been a nice grid today.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a depleted CQR lineup, isn't it? Let's just quickly run you through the rest of the grid. Sam Kumo is in 5th position. 6th is Pete Newman. 7th is Christian Rose, so that's a CQR pairing there. Ewan Tyndall is 8th. 9th is Adam McNally. 10th is Lewis Bibby. 11th, David White. 12th, Adam Delmont. 13th, Conrad Venter. 14th, Dan Blake, who came so close to taking victory in race 2 last week. Taylor Lane in 15th. Josh Valentine 16th. 17th, Richard Gaffenchu. Richard Dempsey is 18th. Paul Richards on the 9th row. Michael Blake in 19th. Rick Scott in 20th. Simon Landemore 21st. And Frankie Myers will start 22nd.
Can I just remind the drivers, if you haven't uploaded your paints to the paint pack, they won't appear on the broadcast. We don't use trading paints. It has to be in the paint pack. Now, I know there's a couple out there that are using different liveries, but they're not in the paint pack, so I can't show them. Come on, guys. I know you want them on there, so get them uploaded. Go onto the forum, bsrhub.com. Anyone who wants to join the series, head there as well. You can register for the series. Upload your paints, and we can get them on the broadcast.
And speaks the truth. Right then. Let's see who's going to come through this. 12 laps here at Summit Point. Red lights are on. The green light is on. Good start by Osgard. Old single file at the front. Jagurtha manages to slot into 2nd. 3rd is Thompson. All looks okay so far. Let's see if they all make it through turn 1. It's very easy to rear end someone here. Oh, a bit of 3-wide action at the back, but I think everyone is through. Nicely done. There can be some incidents. We've seen them, Alex, on the way to turn number 2.
Yep, so far so good. Kubo sets himself in 5th. We just see go through there, but everybody else flying through that quick left-hander.
Oh, there's a crash at the back.
Tricky.
Crash at the back.
Dempsey and Rick Scott, I think, involved. Yep.
Michael Blake's got a bit of that as well. Everybody got through the tight section they have, the hairpin, and now this S's section is going to be much nicer in the Porsche than it is in the Kia. And Osgard looking good through there, but Jagurtha is not letting him get away. We've seen Jagurtha in a few different cars, and he flashes the lights there at Tommy Osgard. He wants through quickly, Alex.
Yeah, some bragging rights, I'm sure, for these guys right now, knowing that they both do a little bit of real-life driving as well. So, yeah, neither one's going to want to give up. Thompson behind as well. Same thing. I know Josh Thompson running on the Oculus as well, so slightly different. Move up into turn 1.
Jagurtha goes for it. Osgard there, though. He knows he's got that outside line. He knows he can carry the speed. He maintains that position.
Will having another little look, just poking his nose in here, there and everywhere, giving Tommy something to worry about at all times. That's allowed Thompson to close in. Just that little 2 corners worth of battling just holds these guys up a good half a second there, and we're back to pretty solid top 4 running nose to tail at the moment.
Can't see there being too much overtaking around this layout, but you're right, it's going to be about who can drive the cleanest race, who can avoid mistakes. Going to be the deciding factor in this Summit Point event.
Yep, that's the thing. I'm just looking at 12th, 13th, 14th battle at the moment. Conrad Venter, Taylor Lane and Josh Valentine, they're particularly close together as well, probably the closest of the sort of cluster out there at the moment, although Lane just loses a little bit of time on Venter there. Venter runs a little bit wide in the final corner as well.
Bit of a mistake. He stays in the toe of Adam Delmont, but he's going to have some pressure now from Taylor Lane.
Maybe very, very close as well to David White. I thought maybe he was going to make a move. He doesn't. And Tyndall is a little bit slow coming off of turn 1. He went a little bit wide, and that's allowed White the opportunity to maybe do a move. Dives up the inside. Both drivers do see each other. Oh, that's close through there.
We're going to see a lot of dust and dirt being kicked up onto the circuit, especially coming out of the second corner. Very, very. The drivers tend to run wide there a bit, don't they? Almost intentionally.
Yeah, you can get away with it. You don't get an off-track penalty or anything like that unless you go really, really wide, and you don't lose any sort of momentum actually going through that gravel. So Just carrying that much more extra speed going through it just sort of slows you up to about the same as everybody else.
And a really good lap for Tommy Oscar. He's managed to stretch this advantage out to nearly 1 second over Will Tregurtha. And behind them is still Josh Thompson. Then Steve Hefford. And Steve Hefford coming under a little pressure from Sam Kumo. Kumo pulls out the slipstream. The Finnish driver just letting him know, Steve Hefford, that he's there.
Yeah, Hefford locks up just a tiny little bit going into turn 1. Drifts out a little bit wide because of it, but doesn't slow him down, getting back on the power.
Tyndall was off, sorry mate. Tyndall was off and it looks like... Oh, is he outbraked himself? Yeah, he's just outbraked himself. Got
side by side with Venter now as well, going through that corner. We saw Venter very out of shape. Manages to collect the car. And now it's him who's under a little bit of pressure going into the hairpin. He's got Taylor Lane tucked up behind him. But yeah, Lane not able to capitalise on that mistake there.
In front of them, David White's got a lot of trouble as well. Lewis Bibby is right behind him, and we know how fast Lewis Bibby is in the races.
Oh, Newman around.
Newman's off.
What happened to Pete? Oh, skip it back and let's have a quick look, because issues for Newman. Uncharacteristic mistake for Pete. Usually absolutely on the ball, one of the most consistent drivers. Hardly puts a foot on. Even coming out of the hairpin there, you can see the car just getting a little bit out of shape. Perhaps overcooked the tyres just a little bit. What's he going to do? Get up on the curbs? Car is just snaking around underneath him. He just never really got control of it. And yeah, it doesn't hit the wall or anything like that. Collects it up, but yeah, it does put him all the way back to 80.
Taylor Lane spun at the first corner. Lane spins, and I'd just seen that there was a move by Christian Rose as well on Simon Landemore, so Rose gets up into 16th. He's had some issues throughout this race. Rose started in 7th, so I don't really know why he's all the way down there.
Adam Delmont was very close to David White as well, but those guys are just separated apart a little bit. At the front, we're looking at a fairly reasonable gap now, 1.2 seconds for Osgaard, and Tregurtha 1.4 seconds clear of Thompson. So top three really separated apart now.
Yeah, it's all getting a little bit of that field
if
spread.
1.2 seconds can be separated apart.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a massive one, is it? Not a massive gap. Ewan Tyndall is now pressuring Adam Delmont.
Kumo,
side by side
Kumo
behind,
is very close.
Valentine and
sorry,
Dan
Andrew,
Blake,
got to switch you to Sam and Hefford. They're side by side. They have been coming out of turn 1. They're still side by side now. Surely, if this is going to be, I thought that was Dan's best opportunity to get a move done, but Hefford still holds on.
Oh, Hefford's a bit wide in the hairpin. But again, it's very difficult to overtake in this section, isn't it? I've crashed into a few people in this sector
circuit
here
as well. That's the thing. It's very narrow. It's so difficult to get moves lined up. You won't see very many 3-wide action happen. So, yeah,
a track that you would liken it to at all? In the challenge or in the layout?
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, it's got a nice flow to it. The circuit's quite nice, you know.
Could do with being like 3 feet wider all the way around.
That's the thing. It just reminds me of, like, you know, other sort of rookie circuits. So like your Okiyamas and your like your Lime Rock Parks, where you know they're very narrow. It's very difficult to get moves done.
Quite tough places to learn how to race, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
When you think about it. You need to be learning to race at somewhere like Circuit of the Americas, don't you? Where it's massive and
huge,
wide,
huge apex,
loads of runoff area.
Turn 1, you know, where you can just lunge up the inside.
That's it. Great corner that, by the way, that hairpin Dakota. Just invites you in and invites some overtaking.
Having a little look further back, there's some bit of battle going on. This is between Newman recovering Simon Landemore and Michael Blake. So 16th, 17th and 18th for those guys. They were all fairly close just a moment ago. Newman, I think, does have the pace over them and started to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, he's disposed of them straight away, hasn't he, Newman?
Landemore and Blake, they've been lapping very sort of similar lap times.
Dan Blake and Josh Valentine have been very close together for 2 or 3 laps now. Blake went up the inside of Valentine a couple of laps ago. Josh hasn't. Oh dear me! Big twitch. Josh has not relinquished this spot. Might even have a go up the inside here if you can get close enough into turn 1.
Battle going on in the background as well. We'll switch to that once these guys come through turn 1, and that's Blake and Landemore again.
Oh, and Rose was very close to
Blake
Fenku
outbreaks
as well.
into turn 1. Can he hold it around the outside? He tries his absolute best. He will get good drive off that and have the inside for the next corner. He does that extremely well. Move complete. Great move.
Yeah, very good indeed. He can do that in turn 1. And yeah, using it to his advantage there. Oh, Blake and Valentine again, just inches apart. Josh really wants to get past. Actually qualified behind Blake, so obviously his race pace just a tiny bit better at this point. Even though Blake actually made a move on him earlier on, it can happen sometimes, though, can't you? That people are that evenly matched that end up trading places.
Yeah, that's it. I think they're both a little bit quicker than Conrad ahead, but all this battling.
There he goes.
Oh, runs him out wide, had the corner. That's a funny one, that, isn't it? In sim racing, the driver who gets run out is just going to be absolutely livid. You didn't leave me the room. But in real racing, it's fair game. You leave the door open like that, you've got to expect to be run out wide all the time. So it's yeah, it's always a funny one. So I think you can say that's quite a legitimate overtake, you know.
There's no hard and fast rule, is there, really, unfortunately?
No.
But that was hard and fast, wasn't it? Hard and fast push into the gravel.
Yeah,
was
exactly.
what it was there. But they say, though, don't they, in real life, that if you put yourself in that position on the outside, they sort of say, don't they? But I don't know whether that's right or not, really. But there you go. But anyway, Valentine is now chasing after number 99. That's you and Tyndall.
Yeah, he must have made a little mistake or something, because Ventus ahead of him, so I don't know what happened on that lap. But Tyndall dropped back. About that. But yeah, Venter up to 10th as well. I'd be happy with top 10. Conrad just been fairly consistent in this series all season long.
Yeah, that's it. He's had a couple of spins. I think he'll admit that some of it hasn't been his finest racing, but oof, Valentine goes a bit wide. I think a lot of people go wide in that final corner, though.
I think you can get away with that as well.
Here comes Newman. Newman making the move on Gafenchu. Through. Clear pretty much already.
Yeah, just carried the extra momentum, didn't he, out of that final corner. No issues there. Little lock up going into turn 1. Pretty natural for this car, of course. No ABS or traction control in this, so definitely a driver's car.
Gafenchu nearly just lost it completely coming out of first corner, but managed to survive. It's been a decent race this so far. We're on lap 10. We're nearly at the end of it.
Yeah, let's check in with our leaders, just see how they're doing. Let's jump on board. Tommy out front, 1.8 seconds clear now from Tregertha. Good solid run for him. I know, having spoke to Tommy quite a bit behind the scenes, Tommy's trying to build up his iRating at the moment. Wants to make his way into the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. So this season focused himself in the Porsche Cup just to get that iRating up. So
very good job of it.
Yeah, definitely a good driver. You can see that they're not making any mistakes. So it's going to be one that's going to challenge in that Pro Series, I'm sure.
Well, end up be challenging for the prizes in this one too. And this will be his third win in a row if he can complete it. So we haven't seen that many people do that in the past. I believe he did win both rounds last week.
Yeah, so the front three now, sort of good two seconds between all of them. So
David White and Adam Delmont might be the closest battle. 8th and 9th positions. David White qualified 11th in 3 spots, and so has Delmont.
There's a few close ones out there, actually. You've got Kumo and Hefford still very, very close, and Bibby and McNally very close. And like you say, this one here, this Delmont and White one as well. So still could have some position changes with the final couple of laps.
Fun fact for you. McNally, Bibby, White,
Side
Delmont.
by side, sorry, Andrew. This is Tyndall and Valentine.
All right, yeah.
Oh, coming out that final corner. Ewan very, very out of shape. Collects the car up though.
All sorts of sideways. Here comes Christian Rose. Well, he's looking to pick the bones of this situation.
Not sure why Rose is down here where he has lost 6 places from his qualifying position, so had some issues.
I'm not sure either. I'm going to get my fact in a second, but
Sorry.
No, I'm just waiting for something to not happen. I'm waiting for a break in the action. Yeah. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. They've all gained exactly 3 places. So and in the order from where they started. There you go.
And they're all ridiculously close together again now. Where's our leader? Because this is the final lap of the race, of course. Here he comes.
Over the line then. 3 victories in a row for Tommy Osgaard. Started on pole. Held off the challenger Will Tregurtha, who finishes second and crashes.
That's Will's style. Where's Josh Thompson? Josh Thompson in 7th. Didn't come across in 3rd. He must have made a mistake on the final lap of the race.
Steve Hefford's going to come home with a podium. He's going to be loving that.
Yeah, he defended well from Kumo and deserved it, to be honest. Thompson, with his mistake. Let's see if we can just see what that was.
Oh! Tell you what, there's no better than a surprise podium, is there?
No! You take that all day long, won't
Excellent. Rick Scott recovering and trying to catch up to Taylor Lane at the end, but not able to, unfortunately for him.
Oh, it looks like it might have been a turn 1 incident. Just caught the tail end of it. Yeah, he lost it coming out of turn 1.
Oh, final lap, that's so bad. That's really
where you want to do it.
Nope.
Right, well,
let's quickly go through the finishing order then. Tommy Osgaard takes the win by 2 seconds over Will Tregurtha. Steve Hefford in 3rd. Sam Kumo takes 4th. Adam McNally in 5th and Lewis Bibby 6th. 7th for Josh Thompson after running 3rd for the entire race. He'll be gutted with that. David White in 8th. Ahead of Adam Delmont, and then it's Conrad Venter in 10th, 11th Josh Valentine, 12th Ewan Tyndall, 13th Dan Blake, 14th Pete Newman, 15th Richard Gaffenshu, Michael Blake in 16th, 17th Christian Rose, Simon Landemore in 18th, 19th for Taylor Lane, had a spin halfway through, Rick Scott involved in turn 1 contact, 20th, and Richard Dempsey likewise 21st, and Frankie Myers did not take the start. Okay everybody, right. Stick with us because in just a couple of minutes' time we'll be live with the first round of the evening of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship, and that will be live here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. Join us again in just a few moments' time. Welcome back to Summit Point and round 21 of the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson bringing you all the coverage here from BSR Race Night on iRacing Live. And Alex, well, that was a good appetizer with the Porsche, some decent racing in that one, and now we've got over 40 cars ready to go to battle here.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello everybody, welcome back. If you weren't here for the Porsche race, you missed a cracker. It was a good little race, and I think that sets us up nicely, like you said, Andrew, for this one. Going to be a great race. What have we got? 48 cars on the grid at the moment. I'm not sure what the grid slots are here, and we were talking about it off air. I think we must be close to maximum.
29. So that'll be what, 58?
Yeah, so slightly lower than what we have seen, but. Yeah, so some people scared of going back to their rookie days, it would seem.
Just a point on that as well. Frederick Rasmussen banned for this meeting because he was judged by the stewards to have intentionally caused a collision in the last meeting.
Oh dear.
Quite an interesting one. I haven't seen. I don't know which one they're referring to. I'll make no comment on it, but just need to point out that that's one less car that we would have had at this one.
I was obviously away last week, so I missed all that, unfortunately. So
there's no Matt Bunn either, was there, in the Porsche? So he would have been in this as well. So we would have had 50.
Yeah.
We've had at the very least 50. We've got Anwar Smith is here as well. He was in the Porsche. He's had enough of that. He's moved over to this. He'll find it's a completely different challenge than he was used to before. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. And Josh Thompson in the Kia as well. So. Also, it will be worth a watch because Thompson hasn't set a qualifying time yet, so maybe he's not allowed to set a qualifying time. But Ashley Sutton's at the back as well, so maybe he's banned from qualifying for yet again. It seems like every other week, Ashley Sutton's banned from qualifying.
We'll say no more. Well, we've got 2 minutes 45 left of qualifying. While that's going on, Andrew, do you want to just quickly run us through sort of overall championship standings, things like that?
Yeah, of course, mate. So after 20 rounds of the season, it's David Baker that is leading the way. I'm not really that surprised about that, to be honest. 83 points he leads by over Stelian Chepelevsky. Nicole Foggy has been fantastic so far in his first season in the BSRTC. A rookie in third position, and he's behind by 139. In fourth is Michael Hall, fifth is Jake Blackhall, Josh Simmons in sixth, seventh Sven Glatzel, eighth Daniel Kraft, ninth Richard Gore, and Paul Smith rounds out the top 10. Unsurprisingly, Alex, only 4 points between Richard Gore and Paul Smith.
Yeah, these guys always seem pretty inseparable, don't they?
I did use a good analogy last week to describe them, and yeah, those two, they're going to fight forever, I think. And in the AM category, well, it's going to be a good fight there as well. We've got a rookie, we've got a former champion, Nicole Foggy, taking the AM lead, taking quite a large lead, I believe, as well. John Roberts is in second now. He won the AM title in 2015. He's only got better since then, so he's going to be very strong this season. Matthew Keeber in third, Roy Viverke in fourth, last season's safest driver, and Stuart Atkinson in fifth. Now, if we go to the team standings, we have got EQRS line at the moment in the lead of that. Of the pro teams, 485 points ahead of Apex Racing already. That's a great lead for them. CQR Race Hub are in third, with Pro Sim in fourth and Fanatec in fifth. Their best Pro-Am team is Boosted Motorsport. They're in sixth position. Northern Lights Racing, which was JMR, Alex, that's one for you to note there. They're in second place. Automake Knockhill third and eighth overall. Sim Gear, they've had a pretty bad start to the season. A couple of drivers have backed the dummy out and left, unfortunately. Stefan Hoog, Alex, the team principal, has had to step into the car.
Yep. And
then Alphalatech in 10th, Automake Performance in 11th, not matching the performance of the Knockhill squad at the moment, and GT Omega Racing in 12th. But I tell you what, if you need a substitute, there's not really a bad. It's not a bad guy to have as a substitute, is it? Stefan Hoog, who's won many BSRTC races.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very quick. I'm sure he'll step in perfectly well for the guys.
Oh, it doesn't look like he's here this week as well, so that's another absentee. But he did have to step into the car last week, and he did a pretty decent job as well. Stallion Chepelevsky's done a very, very good job in qualifying so far, and in fact Apex Racing UK locking out the front row. That's something I'm quite pleased to say, of course. No bias at all here. Chirpy ahead of Wojciech Sirinovic, and Alex, I'll get your point of view on this, because obviously you're completely unbiased too. Stallion and Wojciech, it's great to have them in the same team, really, isn't it? A fantastic combination.
Yeah, both very, very quick drivers. Been a bit of a mixed bag for them, hasn't it, really, this season? So some strong results, some unfortunateness, just caught up in some accidents that they usually avoid. So, but still doing well. I think Wojciech definitely wants to come up there. So they're missing Cats, of course, at the moment as for the team championships. So the likes of Nathan Davis and Richard Gore really got to step up and make sure they get some points. I think more to Nathan than anything, because he had quite a few DNFs, and of course it's causing the team to get some penalty points. So yeah, very, very important that he steps up his game while Cats is away.
In fact, while the Cats is away, the Davies comes to play. As, there are 4 Apex Racing UK cars actually in the top 5, and that's the strongest performance by this team in its history. David Baker, championship leader, is in 3rd as well. Wojciech Sirinovic, incidentally, Alex, only 19th at the moment in the standings, so he's got a lot of work to do.
He's a driver who's been caught up in a lot this season so far, so to still be sort of in there, I would say it is pretty good, because I've seen a lot of DNS that are just not his fault. So I have no doubts at the end of the season he'll make that top 10.
I'm going to take you through the finish order of qualifying then. Stallion Chepelevsky is the man on pole position. Wojciech Sirinovic in 2nd, David Baker 3rd, Nathan Davis 4th, and 5th is Richard Gore. 6th for George Simmons. His season's been very, very impressive indeed. Alex Smolensky is in 7th. Michael Hall is in 8th, Ben Hackerson 9th, and Nico Foggy, as we mentioned, doing extremely well in P10. Sven Glatzel has been a revelation as well, 11th. Daniel Kraft 12th. Ricardo Castroledo is back in, and he's in 13th position. Jake Blackhall is 14th, and Adam Hadfield 15th. 16th for Julien Janowski, with Thorstein Helgeson as, I believe, the highest placed sim gear car in 17th place. Colin Cunniff is 18th, with Pete Harrod 19th, and Rusty Laidler 20th. Diogo Melro all the way down in 21st place. And he was only a quarter of a second slower in his practice time, so that just shows how you get punished in this series for not being even quite at your best. Kip Stevens 22nd, Rory Butcher 23rd, 24th Alex Everett 25th, Stephen Baxter. I'm only halfway through this field. Robert Graham in 26th place, Max Wright 27th, Paul Smith a bit disappointing in 28th, Ross McFarlane 29th, Laura Bond 30th, Jamie Ayres 31st, Anwar Smith a decent first outing for him in 32nd, Scott Malcolm 33rd, 34th is Stuart McFadden, 35th for Pete Newman, and that might be the case of the Porsche taking up his practice time and being down there. Jack McIntyre 36th, that's a terrible qualifying for him. 37th Michael Blake, John Roberts only 38th, Simon Roden 39th, 40th Cesare Rizzo. Stuart Atkinson with a poor lap in qualifying there, only 20 odd seconds off the pace. Josh Thompson, Roy Viverke, Ashley Sutton, Lee Berridge, Mark Woodhouse, Andrew Whitehead and Lorne Murray, the naughty boys who've been kicked to the back of the field, Mr. Simpson.
Yeah, indeed. That'll be interesting to see how far they can come through. We'll try and keep an eye on the action the best we can, but who knows. Right, guys are getting ready. We're waiting for a couple of guys just to make their way to the grid. It looks like Sutton's actually starting from the pit lane.
Well done, everybody. Hold on to your hats. Round 21 of the BSRTC is underway. It's a good start by Chepelevsky. Sirinovic slots in there. That's exactly what we saw in the Porsche race. And it's David Baker. Oh, Baker's going up the inside of Sirinovic into first corner.
Yeah, and Simmons up the inside of Davis as well. Good start from him.
Yeah, Simmons through into, well, trying to go through. Oh, there goes Chepelevsky. Off goes our leader. That'll be a slowdown possibly as well. Oh, he's gone back on in front of the mad car there. The Pete Harrod.
He was just on the grass when he did his turn in there, and that's what caused that back end to kick out massively more. Well saved.
It's Michael Hall, sorry, that it is there. Apologies there for getting that one wrong. Oh! Car very wide in the middle of the field. I think it was Might have been Smolensky who's dropped down. He's had a poor start. He started 7th. He's ended up about 12th after the first lap. And Wojciech Svidovic now inherits the lead. So let's see what he can do.
But we have had some incident further back. Some people struggling out there. Thompson won. Sutton hasn't actually started this race at all, so it's not out there. As Baker has a little look up the inside of Svidovic into 1. Simmons looking pretty racy as well. Got that podium position. Looking strong.
Fantastic start by Josh Simmons. Like I said, it wasn't a good start for Alex Smolensky, down 5 places. Likewise, Richard Gore was down from 5th to 10th. It can so easily happen in this BSRTC as a lot of dust gets kicked up coming out of turn 2. We know that's going to happen, and that's going to only get worse throughout the day. Looking back then into 17th place, Colin Cunniff is defending hard from Ricardo Castrolido. That's a big name there in the middle of this field. And then Adam Hadfield, Rory Butcher side by side going through the middle sector of the course.
Yeah, again, same situation as before. Where do we look in this field?
Everywhere.
Literally the top, well, after 1 lap, the top 33 separated by 10 seconds. So very, very close.
Crazy, isn't that? Michael Hall in 6th. He's had a good start as well, up 2 positions. Behind him, Ben Hackerson in P7.
Yeah, Hackerson on the outside. He's going to try and hopefully, we saw this in the Porsche race, if you get the line right, you get a slightly better drive off this corner. He's got not a lot of room to work with.
Oh,
Davis just ahead of him.
Bit of contact with Hall. And is Hackerson still alongside, or is Hall? If Hall's able to get clear, he may break very late on the racing line. He does, and that allows him to just slot in just in front of Ben Hackerson. Looking to another battle behind, and that is Sven Glatzel leading Alex Smolensky, Nico Foggy, and then Jake Blackhall. Blackhall a privateer for this season, but fully sponsored, Alex. That's good to see.
Yep, for is it Asher Racing or
Asher
something
Racing,
like that?
yeah, that's right. It's nice to see a sponsor stick the neck out for a driver. I think Nico Foggy as well. The same things happened to him, as although he's part of Northern Lights Racing. Richard Gore is in 9th position, sort of in no man's land at the moment. You see just in front of them, Alex, Daniel Kraft looking very racy and really trying to improve on that 12th starting spot.
Yeah, right on the back of Hackerson right now. Hackerson, of course, was attacking his teammate just a lap ago. They're only 2 tenths behind him still. And
he
makes contact with Hall.
And the Kraft says, "Thank you very much. I'm going around the outside. You won't see me again." There he goes.
Yeah,
Daniel Kraft up into that's 6th place, and he started 12th. That's a brilliant start.
Gore trying to capitalise on that as well. Around the outside of, well, he is around the outside now of Hackerson. Smolensky's around there too, so it's all getting very, very tight in that midfield right now.
Ashley Sutton didn't take the start, Alex, and out is Diogo Melro and Jamie Ayres as well. We didn't see what happened to them, but they're gone.
Yeah, and actually ended up Gore, lost that place there as well. So Smolensky just slots himself in nicely there. Foggy having a little look on Gore now. It's always the case once you get out of line and you just lose that momentum, you come very vulnerable. It's just like, in some sense, like a bit like oval racing where you're just out of the groove and just all goes wrong. What is that behind? Is that Janowski?
That was Jake Blackhall getting extremely defensive to Julian Janowski, who I'm sure he quit the series. That was a shorter retirement than Felipe Massa's was. Probably said he was packing it in. Oh well, he's back now. As Blackhall around the outside, still trying to gain that momentum, trying to stay alongside the Sim-Gear car. Going towards turn 2. Difficult one this, Alex. It's not the easiest one to approach from the inside line. You just do not get that momentum, and Blackhall's finding that out, and he very nearly gets quarter panel by Sven Glatzel.
Yep, just about survives, no problem there. But yeah, like you said, I think this series is always a funny one, isn't it? You can get involved in something very easily, and because there's so many cars, I mean, just look at that shot right now. Ridiculous. There's so many people, so close together. When accidents happen, lots of cars get involved, and it gets very frustrating. I get that from the driver's point of view as well. But then when you have a great race, you know, you look at the front guys now who have been nose to tail for the most part of this race. you know, and you think there's another 40 odd cars out there doing exactly the same thing. You don't find this close racing anywhere else. It is one of a kind.
Not in as fast a car as this anyway. Maybe you get it in something like the Skippy or something like that. But
I'm not even sure in the Skippy you see packed this big, to be honest.
More talent gap,
having a little look on the inside of Hackerson going into turn 1.
Let's have a look.
Done a similar manoeuvre on Gore just a couple of laps ago. Can't quite complete it this time.
No, skip to Malou as he's trying to get through. Is Smolenski can't really do anything about Ben Hackerson.
Having a little look what's going on up front. Cheppy obviously recovering after his issues earlier on. So the top 4 have broke away a little bit from Nathan Davis now. Davis is about 1.4 seconds behind his teammate. So
Adam Bath said last week, world's longest freight train, and it is, isn't it? I mean, if you get out of line, as you said, this is what I was going to try and get that in, but stuff kept happening. But yeah, world's longest freight train. I think that's the perfect way to put it, because you step out of line, it's like you're at Daytona, isn't it?
Yep, that's it, exactly that. You need that sort of pack.
What a frustrating time for Stelian Chepelevsky, having made literally one mistake on the opening lap. He's lost him all that track position on a circuit where it's so difficult to gain it.
Like he needs a little bit of the draft just to be right there, you know. But holding his own, to be fair. Kraft closing in on Davis a little bit. Last lap was 0.3 of a second, so 6 laps to go. Those two are definitely going to have a race on their hands before the end of this one, and that might allow Kraft's teammate to catch up, which is what the the S-Line boys really want to do.
I think Dan's going to be very happy if he manages to finish 6th. That would be a great finish for him after qualifying only 12th. I say only 12th. He was only 6/10 off pole, but that's what happens in this league.
Dan, quickest man on the circuit, last lap by as well. So he's not slow out there. Always seems to be very, very strong in race pace. Does Dan Kraft.
Put it this way: Alex Everett qualified 0.3 behind Daniel Kraft, and he was 24th on the grid. That's how close everything is. As Kraft now pulls out the slipstream on Davis, he's past the Apex Racing UK car and the CQR car going through. Can he stop it? Well, I think he can. He was okay there. Carbon disc glowing. Beautiful move by Daniel Kraft. Nice and easy.
A great deal of time lost for either driver there as well, so I think that's important for Davis as well, because he wouldn't have wanted to fall into the clutches of Hall, Hackerson and Smolenski behind, so he'll just try and tag along with Kraft now, won't he, and see if he can get back towards these front guys using a little bit of the draft. Because yeah, Kraft once again quickest man on the circuit, last lap by. He
just needs some finishes. Does Nathan Davis, doesn't he? It's a bit like Wojciech Svidovic. He just needs to get to the end of some races, whether he wins or not. Wodger's had a good lap this time. Look at Stelian Chepelevsky though. This is where he starts to pressure. This is where he starts to come good. Behind George Simmons, he's only... Well, you can see the gap. You don't need me to tell you what it is. It's but got a good chance now. Simmons got a decent exit out of the final corner. He's going to get the slipstream from Baker as well. So this might not be easy for Stelian to draw alongside.
No, it just doesn't. You can't see him closing up at all. Actually, as we're on board, and you're right. He'll want this podium. Remember, podiums mean bonus points going into the showdown if you're in the top 10. Of course, if you're a wild card, you don't get those podium credits. So, no, there is something worth fighting for right out there right now. So, there's to get into the top 10. There's not an awful lot for them to gain, by swapping positions here. There's a point on the table, really. So, but it's afterwards. It's in the showdown. They'll want that.
Oh, sorry, mate. I thought he was having a look. I've tried that move a few times down the inside into the hairpin. You're hanging on for dear life. It would mean a lot as well for Boosted Motorsport to get on the podium, because a podium in race 1 says that you have true pace.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because it's the fastest of the faster at the front in quali. That's it. So. And
you've Boosted Motorsport, who are kind of, no disrespect intended to them or to Force India, but they're kind of like Force India of the BSRTC, aren't they? They pick up a good result every now and again, but not always at the front in sort of dry dry conditions, as it were, you know, full race conditions, and that's what we get. We always get dry conditions here in iRacing, which at the moment is maybe a blessing in disguise. But I'll tell you what, some wet races in the BSRTC would be very interesting. And Hackerson, he's pushing again on Michael Hall. They've had two or three little bits of contact throughout this race. And who's that getting involved? Alexander Smolensky. Oh, the Bulgarian might be able to get involved. Oh dear, there goes Hall off into the wall.
Big time.
And that'll be Hackerson, probably a penalty for him for the next race, I would imagine.
Just the tiniest of little touches.
Oh, he goes off. He's going to go all the way off. Look out. Oh dear, that's terrible.
Well, Gore sees the opening. Thank you very much. He'll take that. Moves himself up to 8th place as well.
Hackerson hit Smolensky. I mean, I'm not sure there was a great deal he could have done, but Smolensky would have rather he didn't come back on the track at that precise point. Smolensky's car is toast, I think.
Pulls out as well, unfortunately. Complete retirement. So major points lost there for the QRS line. I won't want that.
And they're doing very well in the Teams Championship. Apex Racing having a fantastic race. And Chepelevsky now looking for that podium that we mentioned. George Simmons trying to hang on grimly to these podium credits and that 3rd place, which would be valuable for his team. Boosted Motorsport. He's very late on the brakes. That's nice from Simmons if you can get it. Get the traction and get the grip. Fire it out of there. He should be okay. Quite easy to defend the inside into turn 2.
What this is doing is giving a bit of buffer to Baker, so Cheppy's going to be able to get a better run on the final straight for the final lap. So
it may open up Baker to have a go at Wojciech Svinovic now that he's not looking behind him.
Cheppy does look like he's got the bit between his teeth. He really wants this, but we've just seen what can happen with Hall. Very easy, you know, with a couple of laps to go. Lost a really good finish there. He'll be gutted, and they're going to be aware of that and won't want to do the same thing. So
I'm surprised we haven't had more of those today, to be honest. It's very close. That train that's going on in the midfield, I know we're about to start the final lap, and didn't want you to really cut away from it for that long, but that train from sort of
Castrolido,
what is it, 7th place down, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, really Gore. Yeah. Just have a quick look at it. You can sort of see there's a couple of tiny little gaps between it, but as they go on to the last lap, that's just sort
absolutely crazy.
You can see as I'm just flicking through the grid all the way down to 32nd place, and then there's a bit of a gap to Lorne Murray there. But yeah, crazy close. Baker 3/10 of a second.
Oh, Stellion's off.
That might allow Kraft to get a run. Kraft very close, half a second behind now. You'll see that.
Got 2 wheels on the grass under braking.
Twice, he did that on the first lap of the race when he was in the lead.
Same corner, wasn't it?
Yep. There's Baker as well, 4/10 of a second back. I don't think he's going to be in a position to make a lunge or anything like that.
See what he can do then.
Vidovic is to lose.
Just a couple of corners to go then, round 21 of the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. Well, he started second in Wojciech Svinovic, and boy, he started 19th in this championship. Of course, he needs a victory here, and he does get one. Wojciech Svinovic takes round 21, race 1 of the evening. David Baker in second, Josh Simmons third, Stelian Chepelevsky in P4, Dan Kraft in fifth, Nathan Davies sixth. And 7th, Richard Gore, Nicole Foggy 8th, 9th, Janowski, and 10th, Blackhole. They're still battling away. Stuart Atkinson and Mark Woodhouse are quite close together. This is for 34th and 35th. Woodhouse gets a good exit, but I don't think he's going to trouble Atkinson. Into the line. Atkinson takes the place. Yeah, that was a good race. It was a very good race. A well-driven one. That's always nice to see the first one of the evening go off like that.
I think happened to Smolensky on the final lap of the race.
Must have done, 'cause he finished last.
Yeah, look at that. He's towing massively to the or having to.
Oh, he got
steer
hit,
to the
didn't
right.
he? In the got hit 2 laps ago, didn't he? I bet he's just driven around and just finished the races.
Yeah, got the points
as best he can. Yeah, so he'll finish 1 lap down. If we have a full, he will go on to pole position. Speaking of which, the Wheel of Fortune time. first time this evening, the big wheel, of course. And Alex, if you take it away and tell us who's going to be on the front row of the grid.
I'll just let the results just cycle through, as we can see.
Yep.
Yeah, you read them out, so it's nothing new. It's just I was just covering some of the rest of the battles while it was going on. But yeah, extremely close. Look at that pack, and that mid pack is just ridiculous.
We're from about sort of, dear me, from 7th place to 29th was 15 seconds. That doesn't really even do it justice. It was seemed closer than that, didn't it? But
right, here we go then. What do we got? 26, a whole bunch of falls all the way to 40th. Who's going to get there? Yeah, pole position. Well, let's give it a
40
spin.
is a legitimate number on that.
Yeah.
Oh, dear me.
Let's give it a spin and find out. It's not going to be 40, that's for sure. I think it's going to be 34. Yes, it is, quite comfortably. No issues there. So who's got the pole?
Boost Motorsport will be happy. Stuart Atkinson in bottom pole position. He'll be on there for race number 2, which will be coming up very, very shortly. We've still got another race at the BSR Porsche Cup, so stick with us at Summit Point. Go on iRacing Live, of course Apex Racing TV, when BSR Race Night continues. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside contact, mate. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even. Give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV, iRacing Live. Sorry about the delay there with the second round of the BSR Porsche Cup, but we are back. Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson. And Alex, 2 good races so far tonight, and race 1 in the Porsche, well, it was well contested. It's good to see quite a powerful car running around this circuit, and yeah, it looked like it was pretty decent.
Yeah, it did. Some issues for some drivers getting back in. Yeah, just.
Sorry?
Sorry. Just looking at that. Who else are we missing as well? We're missing Will, aren't we? So why is Will not in this one? You get on Facebook, send him a message, get him in there. It was a good race last time. I want to see him back in it.
Yeah. Oh, I crashed into the wall there. Just about 30 seconds to go of the warm-up. Now, I don't think I mentioned this actually after race 1, but race 2's grid order, for those of you who are new to the series, hello. Race 2's grid order set by championship order in reverse. For those at the front of the championship will be at the back of the grid. There you go, nice and easy for everybody to understand. About finished with the warm-up. What are you expecting from race 2? It's cooler conditions out there, overcast now.
Yeah, well, it'll be a little bit quicker, obviously a little bit more grip available to everyone. So I'm not an expert enough in the Porsche to know whether or not that changes the balance. Now, I know something in the open wheel cars, for example, the cooler the track condition, the balance tends to shift a little bit further forwards. You just have that little bit more bite on the front end, and that could be the case with these cars as well. So maybe a couple of little bits of tweak here and there. You know, maybe a little bit less bar on the back, maybe a bit more bar on the front of the car, just to get the balance back for the drivers. It's more the end of the stint that you want, so that you don't sort of get loose with the final sort of like 3 or 4 laps of the race.
To be honest with you, I've not really driven this car in cold conditions, so I'm not really sure what to expect either. There we go. The races I did were all in sort of iRacing sort of default weather type thing, so maybe 30 degrees. So down at 19 degrees, air temperature 19 degrees, track temperature. It should be interesting. Rick Scott on pole, Taylor Lane second, Simon Landemore third, Christian Rose fourth, and Michael Blake rounds out the top 5. We're just about ready for the start. Jump start by Taylor Lane.
Green, green, green.
And you might as well go once you've done that, because he just stops there.
It was 2 actually, second and third both got the jump start.
Oh, Simon Landemore as well. So dear me, they'll be ruining that. They may as well have just got going, Alex. They could have minimised the damage a little bit. Lane sideways. He's going to hit Rick Scott. No. Don't jump the start and then hit someone either. You need to get on with it and get as far up the road as you can. Landemore going round the outside. That is a good move.
Lane off to the left.
know if he's... Oh, no, no.
Jeez.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing? No, that's
Picked
just
up. That's Thompson around, spinning.
Thompson and Venter, is it?
Well, they're separate incidents, I think, but they're both around.
But they were caused by that region. There's no question. And, that's
Exactly. Everyone just checking up.
just bad. I'm sorry, it's just bad. If you jump the start, you go for one, and if you come back on the track, you do it carefully. No caretaking there, and 3 cars are out of the race because of it. I'm not out of the race, but effectively out of the race. They're at the back by a mile.
And more into the pits. So both the guys, Rick Scott in as well. Not
They
Rick
were
Scott.
for jump start penalties. Hefford as well. So is that a jump start as well for Hefford?
Could well have been. Yeah.
Dear me, what are they doing, man? Wait for the
Oh,
lights.
down into turn 1.
Christian
Rose takes a dive. But it's
past-
controlled. I'll get in there before his teammates lynch me.
Duff's one past Rick
Gets moved
Scott.
on.
Christian Rose has done some good overtaking to turn 1 so far today. Ewan
Well-
Tyndall is in there as well, number 99.
12
Is
laps
he
of this race
before?
to go. Yeah, Ewan, he had reasonable pace that last one. It's just that, wasn't it about 6 or 7 laps from the end was when he sort of dropped down the order quite a lot.
Yep.
So I would think he should be able to stay fairly close to the front.
Ultra Goethe did make the start, started 19th up to 11th. So that message did wonders, Alex, there.
Yep, got it in just in time.
Pete Newman having a better run this time in 8th. He'll be looking to move forward. I think he can as well. He usually has the pace in that CQR car. Ewan Tyndall having to defend hard from Dan Blake, but he's also trying to get past Michael Blake.
Absolutely surrounding, nowhere to go, boxed in. And
Michael Blake into Dan Blake, off goes Blake, and yeah. Oh, and Valentine's around.
That's what happens when you brake on the grass going into the corner.
Or should I say when you Blake on the grass? Oh, off goes Tyndall. Oh no.
Oh, this is close.
Tyndall and Rick
Scott.
Scott and Michael Blake actually managed to survive that.
A lot of Automech cars in there right at the moment.
Then Osgard, and then Tregertha, Defenchu and White. David White is there. And then Pete Newman. And behind Newman is Sam Kumo. Oh, and Kumo makes a mistake. Dan Blake going through to recover. Dan Blake is through. Slow car at the back of the field. Well, slowish was Lewis Bibby, so he's miles behind.
Puma actually held on to that place in the end.
I think Bibby got caught up in that crash with
I think he did at the start,
first crash, yeah.
He was just slow. I don't think they actually got caught in it. It's like Conrad's managed to continue, and so's Thompson, because Thompson didn't actually get hit either. He was just around.
Yeah, Conrad just got
Everybody
a tiny
managed
bit
to sort of avoid him.
He only got a little bit of it, didn't he? Rick Scott and Michael Blake. Michael Blake trying to go around the outside. He does make the move, but he goes off. And Rick Scott fighting back on the outside into the hairpin. Blake is late on the brakes. Car bouncing around on the way in.
Who's that driving right round the outside of all of them? I think that was Kumo.
Oh, it was Gafenchu and Kumo, wasn't it? Kumo going, trying to go through again. I think he was just, it was good opportunistic driving by Kumo. Number 256.
Osgard onto the back of Ewan. The teammates, I'm sure, there's really too much fighting going on here. 4.2 seconds is the lead at the front now. Will our race 1 winner be able to make that kind of gap up? Let's have a look at what the times was. Some half a second quicker than our leader, so you'd have to say at that sort of pace he can, but he needs to get rid of his teammate pretty quickly if he's going to do it.
Did last week, Alex. He chased down 3 seconds in the last 2 laps to beat Dan Blake on the line by 0.004. If he can do it again. Richard Gafenchu and David White going for it. I do apologise, Richard, if I'm getting your name wrong. Like I say, I do say if any drivers get any drivers' names wrong, please tell me. The only way we know.
White just putting his nose up the
White.
inside and
no.
far too late. Lock it up big
once
time on there.
And once you go off there, that's a long way around.
It's the worst. Still trying to get back onto the circuit. It'll get slowed down for that as well, just to put.
No, just to help him, yeah, even more. Now, Osgard is going to have a look into the final corner. That's a good move. Don't see many moves into the final corner. Do see a lot of moves out of it. Here comes Ewan Tyndall. He's going to try and fight back. Tregurtha's behind as well.
But Will might try and capitalise on that, but actually Tyndall got a really good run.
Yeah, but Tyndall's left the door open on the inside. There goes Tregurtha. Late on the brakes. Oh no, there's been a contact. Tyndall survives. Tregurtha survives. Osgard on his merry way. 5.3 seconds is his disadvantage at the moment. Can he make it 4 wins in a row? A double-double.
Yeah, half a second a lap, you know, gets what, 3.5 seconds. So that's yeah, he's gonna have to pick up the pace a little bit if he's going to do this.
It'll be extremely difficult with 7 to go.
Rose is no slouch either, so running in the 108s. So I think this is Rose to lose. He's going to have to just basically keep those laps nice and consistent and tidy, don't make any mistakes. But look at the gap that he's already got on Tregurtha. And Tregurtha, no slouch either. So yeah, he's going for it, is Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy beat Tregurtha by 2 seconds in race 1. And it was Josh Thompson who was in third, but then he lost 4 places on the final lap. He's got damage here as well. Look at Thompson's car, Alex. That's from that first incident on the way towards the hairpin.
Yeah, well, I'll take it back. He obviously did get hit and picked up a bit of damage.
Valentine and Gaffenchu. Valentine up the inside. Richard locks the brakes, and again. Oh, and Valentine locks up everything. I think he's got away with that. He just uses all the track. Made that work too. Good work. And Kumo just behind. He's actually got the Finnish driver's got a little bit of damage on the front right, Alex.
Yeah, I don't know if that's slowing him down or anything. His lap times are not particularly great considering how quick he was in the last race. But yeah, I wonder, Sam, just a little bit more conservative now than perhaps he used to be. Certainly when I was racing him, we had some really close races and he didn't hesitate in sticking one up the inside of me back in the IndyCar days. But yeah, it just seems a little bit more conservative, and he even said that in the chat afterwards as well. So let's yeah, get stuck in, Mr. Kumo.
That's because he's heard us talking for so long about how to drive these BSR series. Been listening, it looks like. He's up 8 positions, by the way, from where he started, our colleague here, broadcast colleague at Fox Racing TV. It's a good run by Josh Valentine now, and his victim is Rick Scott. And Scott doesn't look like he's actually got anything for this. He's given it all she's got, Captain, and it's not enough. Valentine up the inside. And Valentine is through, that's nice. Nice and easy for Josh Valentine.
We're down to 4 seconds now on the live timing. That's the gap. And yeah, 108.904 for Rose, 108.363, so 0.6 of a second roughly. So at that rate, I think it's going to be very, very close at the end.
Richard versus Sam into the hairpin. The P8. Sam gets a good run out of that hairpin, doesn't he? But there really is nowhere to pass here.
Nah, just keeping it a little bit tighter, isn't he? You can see the damage on the front right. We're on board with him now. It seems to be affecting him. Car still tracking straight and everything else like that, but maybe slowing him down a little bit more as he goes onto the grass, gets the braking wrong, loses the back end. Oh,
into the gravel,
just a bit
into the wall.
blindsided there, I think. Blindside, wasn't it? So couldn't see. And it just kinks a little bit to the right. His teammate goes through. And yeah, Kuma finds himself down in 13th.
14th now.
14th.
And yeah, that's unfortunate for Sam. Oh, Landemore and Bibby side by side behind as well. A good scrap into
Dan
the
Blake's
braking
pulled it
area.
up.
Landemore very late on the brakes, and he somehow manages to keep that position. But that wasn't the prettiest example of defensive driving. But I think Bibby might be able to throw up the inside to 2.
Issue for Adam Delmont as well, dropping down the order. Let's see what happened there.
Out completely, I think, is Delmont. I think he got disqualified. Yeah. Disqualified, Adam Delmont.
Didn't make any sort of moves or major contact or anything, so I'm surprised.
He had a bit of damage. It could have been. I think he was in the first lap one as well, possibly. So, where did he start? 12th. He will have been in and around that. Rose by 2.8 over Osgard. Tregurtha is 1.7 behind him. And Ewan Tyndall is in 4th, ahead of Michael Blake. They're having a good battle. Michael Blake doing pretty well in this Porsche. 5th position now for him. Oh man, sideways. Very sideways goes Blake's quite close now.
Tell you what, fancy a lap on board with Tommy, because
Chasing down Christian Rose, yeah, why not? Let's do it. Take us through it, man. To the final corner. How do you approach the final corner in this car?
that's a good question. I don't honestly know.
There you go. Expert analysis here.
Yeah, I'm full of it.
You're full of something. Anyway, carry on.
Yep. Okay, so down to the main straight then. Into turn 1. Got brake really early in this car. I know that's the main thing because it's so easy to lock up and use the cone markers on there. A couple of different lines you can take through that corner. Obviously tight on the way in, opens up so you can really get on the power nice and early through the exit of turn 1, all the way over to the right. Avoid the grass. We saw what happens if you just nick that on the right hand side with Stellion in the previous race. Can avoid, can get into that gravel a little bit if you want, but you will get a 1x, and of course too many of them and you'll get the penalty. This hairpin, very tricky and a bit of an unorthodox line as Rose makes a mistake. That will just pump Tommy on just a little bit more through the tight complex to the left, and then the right hairpins through this section as well. You're just trying to ride the curbs as well you can. Just find the line through here that's as smooth as possible and allows you to get on the power as early as you can for this little back straight before the final corner. But this is a hell of a lap and not a foot wrong, and again uses all that exit curb on the way there, and we're down to 1 second now with 2 laps to go. I think we're in for a thriller again now.
Thank you very much. Taking us through the lap of Summit Point. Oh, there's only 3/4 of a second in it now. Oscar driving so beautifully. I think we need to stay with this.
The last lap, isn't it? Actually, they hadn't crossed the line when I was saying that as well. So yeah, oh, this is going to be close.
We need to stay with this, I think, all the way through. I'm going to stay on board, in fact, with Oscar, and we'll see what he's doing here. Yeah, he took it from Dan Blake on the finish line last week. Going to be harder to make a move here. There's nowhere quite with the opportunity that the final chicane does at Don International, but he's right with the CQR car now, Alex, and this final sector is very important for both.
Massive. Rose's main thing here is that he can't afford to overshoot this corner. He just needs to get the entry right and get the exit spot on.
Here we
go.
go.
It's a good run.
Final corner.
Looks good.
Oh, here we go. Oh, Oscar's on the power really early. He's got the slipstream again. Is he going to do it for the second time in 2 weeks? Can he complete another double? He cannot. Christian Rose. The thorn in the side of Tommy Osgard. Osgard went for 4 in a row. He was denied by the CQR driver.
Yeah, good race all round. One more lap, that's all he needed, I think. But yeah, Rose, fantastic. Made sure he didn't make any mistakes where it counted. That was the important thing there.
Still coming across then in the mid-pack.
And so close to David White. Just across the line, 0.3 of a second, but close enough.
Steve Hefford's reward for apparently jumping the start is, well, he would have been, wouldn't it? He won't get a reverse grid, of course, because that is the final race of the day, of course. But 14th place, he still gets some points, and I suppose that's about all you can ask for in that situation. Right, I'll take you through the finishing order then for round 12 of the season. Christian Rose winning by a hair, 0.065. Oscar very nearly nicked it again. Will Tregurtha in 3rd with Michael Blake, quite a distant 4th after a good battle with Ewan Tyndall, who would finish 5th. 6th with Josh Valentine, who was always in amongst the action there. Josh Thompson, a good 7th, 2 7ths for him. Rick Scott in 8th off pole position. 9th, Richard Gaffenchu. David White in 10th. 11th, Conrad Venter. Adam McNally 12th. We saw Sam Kumo in the gravel earlier on. and unlucky 13th for him. He's still getting 4 places from where he started. Steve Hefford 14th. Then the cars who retired from the race: Lewis Bibby, Simon Landemore, Adam Delmont, Dan Blake, Pete Newman, and Taylor Lane, whose race was pretty rubbish, to be honest.
Just say it as it is, mate. Why don't you?
Oh, it was though, wasn't it? I mean, it was not a good race for him at all. Jumped the start, hit Rick Scott at the first corner, went off the track at the next corner, and then took out everybody. Yeah, I think it was pretty bad. It might be. It sounds a little harsh, but I'm sure it's one of those things. You pick yourself up from that, and you do better next time, don't you?
That's it, indeed. Right, guys. Well, I think we need to leave the Porsches to be. Go for a little break, and we'll be back in just a moment for the second race of the night of the touring cars.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live for the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship Race 2 of 4 this evening. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Alex Simpson. Alex, it's been a good night of racing so far and it continues here with round 2 of the touring cars, and we had a fairly big reverse grid as well. I think it was 34.
That's a good question. Can't remember now. The Porsche race distracted me too much. But yeah,
well,
it was a fairly reasonable one. So yeah, it should be good to see how the guys do. Yeah, it was just looking at the reverse grid race from the Porsches. You know, it was difficult for them to make their way through, but some of the guys did. But some struggled, you know. So I think this could be an interesting race. I don't think everybody's going to be able to get to the front, and the nature of the Kia and the pack itself is that much closer. I think we could be in for something really exciting here. But I also think we might see some accidents in this one as well, because drivers will want to be getting a bit further towards the front, and perhaps they'll get a little bit impatient and won't be able to do it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Right, end of warm-up here then. So just about 1 minute away from the start of the race. We'll try and take you through some of the grid at least. Stuart Atkinson on pole position for Boosted Motorsport alongside Lorne Murray in the Automate car. Lee Berridge is 3rd, John Roberts 4th and Jack McIntyre 5th. Malcolm 6th, Robert Graham 7th, 8th Rusty Laidley, 9th Paul Smith. And starting 10th will be Laura Bond. Having looking down the list, race 1 winner Wojciech Swidovic starts in 34th place, with Dave Baker in 33rd, Josh Simmons 32nd and 31st Stelian Chepelewski. At the back, Diogo Melrose 46th and Michael Hall 41st, Pete Newman 42nd and Alex Smolensky in 40th. So there's some big names all the way through the field. Should be very, very interesting indeed. We're almost ready for this to begin. Waiting on a couple of cars actually still.
Yeah, especially at the front as well. Right now, Stuart Atkinson's got.
I wonder if some people have pit lane starts.
Yeah, shouldn't be any reason for him to get into turn 1, you know, hassled. No, there's no one around him, so it'll be easy.
Go then.
Green, green, green.
Rising for race 2 and we're away. Stuart Atkinson has the nicest possible. Oh, he's got a terrible start, Alex.
Well, he needed that extra buffer zone,
What an
didn't he?
awful start he's had. John Roberts up into the lead, at least for now. Boosted Motorsport going side by side. They almost hit each other, and that's just pretty poor team driving, I have to say. As Atkinson has the worst start I've ever seen, and John Roberts into the lead.
Yeah, well, you know, I thought, well, I don't know what I thought.
Car off. And I've no idea who it is because they're not. I think it may have been Rory Butcher. Oh, Butcher's sideways. Gosh.
New drivers coming out of the pits like we expected. So Murray, Berridge, Woodhouse, and Whitehead.
Just trying to find. I can see cars going off, but I can't react to it quick enough. There's too many cars out there on the track. Is that Michael Hall all the way out on the outside of?
Who's that on the grass? Someone on the grass.
It wasn't Hall. It was Harrod, was it?
Oh my
crash.
God! Big crash.
Cunniff Davies. It's at least Colin Cunniff and Nathan Davies.
Oh my God! Colin just appears from the middle of the trees. It's like, hello.
Hi, I'm still here. Oh dear. John Roberts under pressure for the lead then. Jack McIntyre up the inside. All sitter Stuart Atkinson is that. How do you have such a bad start, Alex, from what was effectively like a 3-row head start that Stuart Atkinson had?
Yeah, it beats me. I think he needs
Nerves.
to have a chat with his teamates about how to get this car started, because that was pretty awful. The crazy thing is, I didn't hear the revs drop or anything like that. It seemed like he was like he kept the revs up, so he should have got a reasonable start. But perhaps he just slipped the clutch far too much.
He actually got away well, but then it was the second phase of the start. It was just terrible. It was like he just didn't. I mean, I know in this car you can. You can really spin the tyres hard in first gear, and maybe that could have been what it was. Who knows? Well, we might find out later on, of course. As Jack McIntyre now goes into the lead. Now it's interesting for McIntyre because he had an absolutely terrible qualifying, so it didn't seem like he really had the pace around here. But yeah, he's in the lead now. He's pulling away from John Roberts. It was pretty decent for the sim gear driver. Also, it looks decent for Rusty Laidler because he is up into 5th place and he's taking on number 31, Robert Graham. And Laidler is up the inside and he goes through, and Paul Smith is behind him. And Smith will have a look as well on Graham.
And the driver's not been able to make too much progress as well from the previous race. I mean, I'm looking at sort of Stellion in 24th, Wodge in 26, got Kraft 22nd. So they've moved up a little bit, but not massive amounts.
No, you're right. It's not.
I mean, what I will say though is they're in this pack. There is no gap over half a second at the moment in this pack. I mean, just look at it.
Streaming
through this group right now. It's just crazy.
Everybody from Atkinson downwards, actually. From Laidler downwards, is pretty much line astern, all the way down to about. It's probably about 38th place, Alex. There's only 15 seconds behind them to crash.
In the final corner as well. That was
Laidler and Graham.
And yeah, Rob Graham.
Got Malcolm's on the grass as he's trying to get through. Oh, the 3 or 4 wide here. No, I knew that was going to happen. That's rubbish.
Someone just got launched.
Oh, very, very messy in there. I think Laura Bond was involved in that one.
I'm not surprised we saw that, to be honest. There's still 2 Automech cars getting into each other. What is going on out there, guys? Get away from each other.
That'll be Scott Malcolm and Stuart McFadden, I would imagine. Evans is in there as well. Kip and who's that going around the outside that's Alex not Alex Everett. It's whoever's in front of Alex Everett. Max Wright. Yeah, me. It seems like the good behaviour's just gone out the window then, doesn't it?
Well, this is what we were talking about. Someone just got this Constantina effect going on at the second hairpin there as well.
Castrolido was one of the victims of that, I think, and possibly Daniel Kraft's had a decent run through the field. He's got a bit of damage, but he's up to... Oh, what on earth is going on? Butcher and I think Hackerson very, very close again. But it's Hadfield, isn't it? Butcher and Hadfield. And then Foggy and Hadfield now side by side. Almost impossible to follow it out here. Still side by side down the straight. Who's that behind them? That's Stellion Chepelewski, isn't it? Number 5.
Yep, Stellion trying to come through. And there's just nowhere really to move, is there, at the moment? So
no, not at all.
Got to be so careful. His teammates just a couple of places behind him and Gore behind him. So yeah, pretty decent run for them.
Certainly, yep. Oh, I can hear somebody going off, and it is... I don't know who it is. If that's the answer, I've no idea. Couldn't get there quick enough. Somebody went off at turn 2. Down the inside goes Julian Janowski on Adam Hadfield.
Just looking at this battle, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, there's an Automech car around. That is Malcolm.
Malcolm. Yeah.
I don't know if Malcolm got turned. Let's just take a quick look at that. I mean, he did get turned, but how exactly was that? Who was at the inside of him? I can't quite make it out. They're making contact all the way through there. Good. Not entirely sure, but yeah, neither driver give whatsoever, and in the end, Malcolm just got turned.
Simmons, Gore, and I think Smolensky fighting over. Oh, so it's Baker. I don't know where they even are, mate. Can you give me a placing?
23rd.
23rd.
Baker.
Oh, Baker up the inside of Malcolm. Bosch. Oh, into the side of the Automech car. Simmons hits Baker. Baker up with understeer on the braking. It's not like him to hit any drivers really in the middle of the corner, but Scott Malcolm was the unfortunate victim there. Oh, very, very close. And this is what we see. Race 1 was very, very clean.
Everett up the inside of Max right there as well. Sorry. Every time I flip the camera angle, there's a move going on somewhere. So
Walensky's just put a great move on Simmons at the hairpin as well. That might even be worth a replay. It was that good.
Do it.
I'll tell you the other 50. I'll tell you the 50 overtakes that you missed while you're looking at it.
Yeah. Oh, that was Everett again. What's going on there? Come on. Oh, we just caught the tail end of it around the outside. Simmons tried to fight back as well, didn't he? But didn't quite managed to make it stick.
That was very good.
Right, back to live. McIntyre leading. It's worth pointing out.
It's doing
by,
great.
Whopping 3.2 seconds now. So really
that is
stretched
whopping
out
in this series, isn't it?
Yeah.
Massively. Atkinson's still 3rd though, so he's still on for podium credits despite that awful start. And I'm going to keep at him on over that for a while. Paul Smith in 4th, by the way. Paul finished 4th. We can't be having that.
Look at this gaggle. Look at 13th, 14th, 15th.
Oh! Hackerson in contact with Bond, I think. Bond trying to go through, and there's a car on the grass. I think that might... I have no idea who that is, let's be honest. It looked like an Automech car, but I don't know whether it was one that was at the front or one that was a lapped car. I really don't know. Do you have any ideas?
No, I'm afraid not. I was trying to make it out by who was slowest going through that corner.
It was a black and red car is what I can see, but I have no idea who it was. I reckon it could have been Lorne Murray actually, who's ended up quite a way. Oh no, it wasn't Lorne Murray. I have no idea. I do apologise, viewers.
Castrolido looking like he wants to put a move on Max right here. He hasn't got his main teammate with him this week, as we discussed in the first race.
Much better race for Castrolido actually here. Oh, it wasn't until... Oh dear me, he nearly got bloody quarter panel this is.
Oh, who's that? It's all over the place. Is that Hackerson? Somebody's on the grass.
Somebody's
I think
on the
that
grass.
was Sheppy, was it? On the grass? Getting moves done? It's like, have at it.
And the car on the grass, I think I've worked it out who it was. I think it was Rory Butcher. Oh man, big one.
Where's they going to roll? Comes
Who is
back
that?
onto the circuit. Who is that? It's Janowski.
Oh, big one for Janowski. Probably out of the race there.
It's okay. I mean, he's continuing, but car is toast. But yeah, he didn't collect anyone else in the incident, but he won't be able to finish the race. Car is absolutely goosed.
Daniel Kraft's had an amazing race so far. He's up 18 positions from 30th on the grid up to 12th, and now working on Ricardo Castrolido. So this is an interesting battle that we've not seen before in the BSRTC. You've raced with Ricardo a few times in the past.
Yeah, obviously did a lot of the FW31 together, so we had a few races. So we come to blows a couple of times, I think. And yeah, exchanged some words, but also had some really, really good races as well. Just,
What it's
I
about,
remember
isn't
some of the ones that we had, like sort of 2 or 3 car battles as well. They were fantastic. So nothing comes to mind, but I just know we've had some fantastic ones.
Bond, Wright, and Chepelevsky. Oh man, that's close. That's very, very close. Bond up the inside of Wright, throws it up the inside into turn 2. Wright's going to have the outside line. Chepelevsky looking to get involved as well. Pick a line, Stellion, really, of who you're going to follow. Bond trying to go around the outside into the hairpin. That's going to be a brilliant move if she can do it. Gets on the newer concrete. Trying to carry on around the outside. Max Wright slowing everyone up at the moment, it looks like, in this little group. Bond's still trying to carry on through this S's section. It's very tight through here, Alex. Very easy to hit the other car.
Oh yeah, there's no room. It's coming off. There's this there. That's the main thing. And Hadfield actually got a much better run than Cheppy.
Bond's through. Great move by Laura. What I will say is, look at that battle and look how it's closed up this pack behind them.
Massive.
They've now got 6 or 7 cars right immediately on them. And that starts with Adam Hadfield.
Cheppy also coming through by the looks of it.
And at the back of this group, Wojciech Savidovic and David Baker.
Baker up the inside of Wojciech as well. Good move there.
That's an important move, isn't it, for Baker, just to get some bragging rights.
Of course, our championship leader. Doing quite well in both BSR series. The Renault one as well at the moment. He's leading that as well as the Kia. So yeah.
Leading that, and I'm not sure he's won a race, which tells you a lot about how much better his mentality's been than everyone else really in that championship. Exactly. Absolutely no. I'm not going to say anything else for that because it's the truth, I'm afraid, everybody. Ricardo Castellino ahead.
Who's that going off? That was Wojciech going off. Mistake for him, puts him down into 26th place.
Oh, and he's been hit by Scott Malcolm.
Oh, he's trying desperately to recover the car. Has he got any damage or anything? Because all of a sudden it just seems like he's right off pace.
Anwar Smith round the outside of Scott Malcolm. And I'll tell you what, if he can pull a fun move on Wojciech Savidovic in his first ever BSRTC race, that would be pretty spectacular. From Smith, Smith gets hit by Malcolm. Malcolm's just hit everything today, and I don't mean in a bad way. He's been hit around a hell of a lot. And I sort of see his point a little bit, Alex, when he was saying he was getting a little bit disgruntled with the series a few weeks ago. Oh, Smith hits Savidovic.
Well,
massive smash up the rear.
That won't go down too well. Won't be happy with that, will Wojciech. But the main thing is he's still going to finish this race. 2 laps to go. Well, maybe.
You're saying Smith. Smith is going to have his hands full with this series, and it's proved that already. He's already taken out a former champion.
What's going on a bit further up front? Glatzel on Smith, just 0.3 of a second, so not too much there. I don't think anything's going to happen with the podium. I'm just looking at sort of the top 8 at the moment. So McIntyre, Roberts, and then Laidler pretty comfortable in their positions, although Smith not too far behind Laidler.
Atkinson's not had a great few laps, has he? He was still in 3rd a couple of laps ago. Now Castellino's coming through, so is Everett and Kraft and Kip Stevens. He's there as well. Sniff around, see what he can find. Oh, Everett hits Atkinson. That's just too late on the brakes again. That braked himself, Everett. Poor old Stewart. Atkinson's been bashed around a little bit, and Kip Stevens continuing that tradition. And again, Castellino, and I'm not sure who that is at the back. Is it Stellion? Chepolewski?
It is Stellion, yep.
Castellino now heads that pack. Jack McIntyre, though, he's just got 1 corner to go, Alex.
Yep, here he comes. Just out in front. No competition whatsoever for him in this one. That's what happens when you get reversed onto their grid.
Well, he had a terrible qualifying, McIntyre, but he's had a great race here. And he wins race 2, and he wins it easily.
Anwar Smith is out on the last lap as well. Roberts is going to come across for 2nd.
Here comes John Roberts. Laidler's going to finish 3rd.
Smith and Glatzel, McFarlane behind.
Oh, look at this lot. Oh, dear. It's Alex Everett, and it's Max Wright, and Pope, and Hackerson, and Gore, and... Yeah, that was a... Oh, and Wright's in the trees. Still going, actually, mate. Berridge and Murray.
Yep.
Whitehead and Janowski were close together, but Janowski's car is totaled, so that'll be that for him. 43rd, Andrew Whitehead. Not the best race for him either. 40. Oh, it'll be 42nd actually.
Didn't he
'cause
start
Smith-
from the pits though as well? He's one of the ones
Oh
that
yeah, he
started
did.
way
Yeah.
back.
Okay.
So.
Fair enough.
But yeah, great race by McIntyre, I have to say. I say, he just got to the front and just did what he needed to do. His pace was not like magnificent when you compare it to like Roberts and Laidler, but the thing is he got to the front quite soon and was able to build that lead up, and from there they just couldn't close him back down.
Very consistent lap times as well, Alex, and usually within a couple of tenths of the previous one, even with the degradation. So yeah, looked pretty good throughout for Jack McIntyre. Okay, he took the victory there. Second was John Roberts, Rusty Laidler third. Fourth was Paul Smith. Fifth, Sven Glatzel. Sixth, Ross McFarlane. And Stuart McFadden in P7. Ricardo Castellado up 16 places to 8th. Alex Everett 9th. And Daniel Kraft, the biggest mover, I believe, up 20... Oh, no, he wasn't. Alex Smolensky was the biggest mover, but up 20 places nevertheless for Daniel Kraft. Stuart Atkinson in 11th. Kip Stevens 12th and Laura Bond 13th. 14th, Stelian Chepelevsky from 31st on the grid. Adam Hadfield in 15th. Nicole Foggy in 17th. Rory Butcher... Nicole Foggy was 16th. Rory Butcher 17th. Dave Baker 18th. 19th, Alex Smolensky. 20th, Richard Gore. 21st, Ben Hackerson. 22nd, Max Wright. 23rd, Pete Harrod. Josh Simmons in 24th. Josh Thompson in 25th. He was up 20 spots. Diogo Melro, likewise, 26th. Scott Malcolm, 27th. Jamie Ayres, 28th. 29th, Rory Verke. 30th, Wojciech Svidovic. 31st, Pete Newman. Jake Blackwell, 32nd. Nathan Davis, 33rd. 34th goes to Thorstein Helgeson, who started 14th and had some issues throughout. Michael Blake in P35, ahead of Michael Hall in 36th. 37th was Dave Christie. I don't think I saw Dave Christie throughout the whole race, actually. Lee Berridge in 38th. 39th, Lorne Murray. 40th, Mark Woodhouse. Simon Roden, 41st. Andrew Whitehead, 42nd. Yulin Janowski, 43rd. And then Anwar Smith, one lap down, 44th. What happened to Smith? Was he disqualified, or...?
I'm not quite sure what happened on the last lap, but suddenly he was back in the pits, so
he may or may not get the... well, if he's in the pits, I don't think he'll get the reverse grid then. Robert Graham, did he finish the race? Yeah, he did. So I think if we have a full, mate, I think it will be... Oh, no, Smith did... Oh, I don't know. I don't actually know. So it'll probably be Yulin Janowski, actually, who gets the full. Cesare Rizzo, 8 laps down. Stephen Baxter, 9. And Colin Cunniff, 12 laps down in 48th.
right, let's bring the wheel up then. We'll give that a spin, and we'll see who it is who's going to be on pole position for this one. Of course, 34th, where we were. The big wheel.
I'm going to need to borrow Adam's oxygen mask after that. Oh, one.
Here we go then. Mr. Full. Is it going to be 30th or is it going to be 38th? It's very close. Could just be 30. It is 30th.
Relatively small one, and Wojciech Svidovic will be very, very happy with that. It's not a fix whatsoever, is it? He's up into 30th place, up from 30th place, onto pole position. So the reigning champion, 2 times champion, starting at the very front of the grid. Roy Verke will be second, Jamie Ayres third, Scott Malcolm fourth, with another chance, and Diogo Melro rounds out the top 5 on the starting grid for race 3 of the evening. And join us for that on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live in just about 10 minutes' time.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
On the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be into the stripe? Dead even. Give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Round 3 of the evening of the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship is about to get underway at the Summit Point Raceway in the United States. Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson here for Apex Racing TV and of course iRacing Live. And Alex, well, the second race was a bit more rough and tumble than the first one, but I guess that's to be expected around such a narrow circuit.
Yeah, I said exactly that, didn't I, at the start of the race, that I thought we were going to see that. A few drivers perhaps getting a bit impatient, quicker drivers coming through, so narrow. Yeah, poor old Colin Cunniff took a little, little rally excursion and popped himself out through the trees, which was quite funny. But yeah, for the most part, actually some really good racing still as well. And I think we'll see very similar racing again in this race. With some of the drivers coming through, and I think what we've got actually this time is the really quick drivers from the first race. They're just going to be a bit further up, so they might get towards the front this time, where really they didn't have a chance in the last one.
Yeah, I think you're right. Definitely a few drivers that are in with a chance of winning the race. But to be honest, none more so really than Wojciech Swidovic, who's starting on pole position. And Alex, if there was ever a chance for the reigning champion to put a win on the board, it is this one.
Yeah, he got lucky with that one, didn't he, really? There's no way of describing it other than that. So, obviously had a little chat with his teammate, Mr. Gore, and said, would you mind handing over the the Gore button for one race? And
yeah.
Clearly allowed it because, he finds himself on pole position after getting bumped and bashed around quite heavily in that last race.
Yeah, sweet. We saw that quite a bit, didn't we? But he'll be looking to definitely move forward and take this victory. Wojciech Swidovic then on pole position, Roy Verke second, Jamie Ayres third, Scott Malcolm fourth, Diogo Melro fifth, Josh Thompson sixth, seventh, Joe Simmons eighth, Pete Harrod, ninth is Max Wright, and 10th is Ben Hackerson, who's looking down the order at our race 2 winner, Jack McIntyre, starting in 29th position. Right then, we're ready for the start for race 3.
Green.
And the green flag flies here at Summit Point. Who's that with a great start? It's Melro. Right on the inside goes Diogo Melro from the third row. He might get to third place here.
We haven't seen much of Diego all meeting, have we? So good to see him up there. Good start indeed.
Have a look and have a quick look and see what everybody's doing through turn 1. Looks like everybody is through very nicely. Nice and well behaved, chaps.
Yeah, looking at the back, I don't see
we
any
get to turn 2?
issues. Rizzo holding up the rear. Well, Anwar Smith actually right at the back, so I don't know what happened with him, but
Max Wright off through turn 2, but to be honest, only off by a tiny bit. Oh, now contact to the hairpin. I believe. Who that is? Who is it? I think it's Josh Thompson. And
Toledo is out. He's absolutely. I thought he was beached for a moment, but he's not. But he rejoins in 46th place.
It's not got any damage on the car, so it should be okay to carry on. Maybe make some place up. It was Josh Thompson, I think, getting into.
Who's that grass cut in there as well? It's Rizzo
at the back. Yeah, Rizzo. On that.
Malinsky side by side with Foggy. Actually, Foggy trying to come back on him. They're both tucked up behind Richard Gore as well. This is going to be a bit tasty going into turn 1. Late on the brakes for Smolenski. He's none too shabby on those. Not able to hold it around the outside. Foggy definitely a breath of fresh air in this series. Come on, has got to be definitely the best rookie we've seen for a little while.
I mean, Frederick Rasmussen obviously a rookie, but Nico Foggy is far ahead of him in the championship, so I think that says a lot, doesn't it? And
yeah.
Foggy doing a great job. Ricardo Castrolida is also a rookie here.
You're not a rookie when you've got an 8,000 I rating.
No, but that's the thing. But well, you know what, Nico Foggy, the thing about Foggy is he's actually an iRacing rookie as well, isn't he? He's a very new driver to the service of only a couple of months, I think.
Anwar Smith out, which is why Wojciech is showing us in third place now, because Cesaro Rizzo out this lap as well.
Yes,
that's for 2 drivers.
Yeah, they do get to lead a little portion of lap 1 if you do retire from the race. So that's something. Wojciech Swidovic plowing away at the front, but Roy Verke in second. Diogo Melro then looking for second place, and the former Club Series champion up the inside and Diogo Melro going through into second place, and now he may be able to have a go at Wojciech's finish. Jamie Ayres is off at the first corner. Oh, and that means there's going to be a crash, surely. No. Pete Harrod manages to avoid disaster as the car was snaking around underneath him.
I was about to say the car was all sorts of out of shape. Let's have a look what's going on behind Baker trying to get through. There's contact there. That was lucky. He managed to get out of it before it got just a little bit too serious. That was with Smolenski.
Yeah, that was over P12. That one. Stelin Chepelevsky up the inside into the hairpin on Sven Glatzel.
Oh, it's all
No, it
checking
wasn't
up
Glatzel.
ahead as well. This is between Harrod, Gore and Ayres. They're still trying to sort of fan out a little bit. Somehow they managed to avoid major contact, and yeah, they all continue.
Jamie Ayres was fourth at the start of the lap, but going off at the first corner, stop put paid to that. And the Welsh driver moving slightly down the field. David Baker is trying to get a run on Nickel Foggy. Baker may be helped by the slipstream of Alex Smolenski down this main straight. Look at this train of cars, Alex. It's brilliant.
Yeah, great shots every time as well. Oh, there's Foggy up the inside,
Well, that's
Smolenski
great
around the
Scots,
outside
isn't it?
again. Baker there. Melro 1.2 seconds away at the top now, so Svidovic just sort of pulling away. Only a tenth and a bit the last lap, but it's enough just to keep edging it out.
Jamie Ayres off again. We can't afford to go off that many times because there is only an 11 incident limit and there are 12 laps. And I've seen him go off at least 3 times. Oh, it's Smolenski! Here we go! Bang! Into Richard Gore. Smolenski over the grass, and he was a victim of that in race 1. Sorry, race 2. And yeah, he's the culprit this time. Not a lot he could do once he was on the grass, though.
Yeah, just going to have a quick look at that on a replay and see exactly what happened. Because Gore was quite a way ahead of them, but yeah, he just overshot it, didn't he? And then just couldn't get the car stopped, and yeah, pretty poor. And well, that's not even one for the stewards to look at, is it? That's a slam dunk penalty there.
Oh yeah, a mistake or no mistake, that's definitely a penner there. Laura Bond having a battle with one of the number 6. Read the numbers. Number 52, Adam Hadfield. Sorry, there we go. Got that out eventually. Can't read the numbers half the time. Oh, pushed onto the grass. Bond got pushed onto the grass by, I think, number 49, Max Wright. Might have been revenge for the previous race, that one. Bond making that great move on the right. 2 by 2 at the back. Look how close this pack is. You go from Jamie Ayres down. There are 10 seconds separating the next 30 cars. 30.
Crazy, absolutely crazy.
Do the maths for yourself and say that's a third of a second between each one. David Baker is up the inside of Jamie Ayres. He's looking for a position in the top 10, is Baker. Oh, and Ayres giving him some back. Baker may have to defend hard into turn 1 here, Alex. He's got to be careful he doesn't outbrake himself, because we've seen how quickly this train can go by if you make a mistake. Who's that in another CQR car up the inside? That's Daniel Kraft looking racy. And Baker's done a good job here. He might be able to box Jamie Ayres in for Daniel Kraft to go through. And CQR might have made 2 positions in 1 corner.
I think that was extremely well played by the 2 teammates there.
Oh,
no, it's not!
Off goes Baker into the wall. Championship leader in the fence. Daniel Kraft
manages to hold on to it
sideways
somehow.
as well. 3 wide nearly. 2 by 2 by 2. Oh, Ayres is going to have a look down the inside on Kraft. Oh, goes a bit deep. Runs into Kraft. Look at this gaggle now. This is unreal now, Alex. Have you ever seen such a thing?
Crazy, crazy. No one's
How they've
really
not-
can do anything. They're just sort of following each other through the circuit at the moment.
How they've not done more than what we've seen so far in terms of accidents, I have absolutely no idea, because they are so close together, and this is so difficult to do on a road course as narrow as this. And Sven Glatzel going up the inside of Jamie Ayres now. That's for, I don't know what position exactly that's for. They nearly quarter panel each other. They got stuck together. That would have been a massive one.
Yeah, for 11th place, Glatzel didn't get quite the run. His teammates tucked up behind. He's almost going to have to push him because there's no way through.
Fanatec teammates then. Oh, and that's very, very close between Adam Hadfield and Jamie Ayres and Alex Everett. Stelian Chepelevsky's in the middle of this. As Jamie Ayres, goes wide again. We're struggling for those incident points, I tell you, is Jamie. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there we go. That's another incident for him.
Everett off. Who else is that wide as well? Someone in one of the GT Omega cars is around and wide, and again this huge gaggle goes through that very, very tight section of circuit.
Oh, what a boosted car, very wide as well. I think that was Atkinson. Oh, 29. Who's that? Laidler and Ayres. And who's on the grass? An automatic car. We're going to have a big one here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and Laidler somehow survives. Don't come back on the track like that. Oh my God, he saved it. That was unbelievable.
That was a credible save. The car looked absolutely gone there.
Oh, there's a spinner at the back. I think he might have been. Oh, I don't know. Was it Helgeson?
Yeah, it was.
Helgeson and Baxter's involved and Berridge.
Poor old Baxter, he gets involved in everything at the moment. There's something else going on out there as well. More people are dropping down the order. Woodhouse, one of them. What happened here? Oh, someone just got nerfed from behind. I think that's what caused it. And then in and around and big pile up.
Off goes an automatic car, very, very wide.
On this replay as well, I'm going to see what happened to Mark Woodhouse, because that was shortly after the last corner turn, and there's I can hear some contact. He just comes in a bit deep. Few people go off into turn one. Yeah, nothing too dramatic. Not
Graham
like the final corner.
Yeah, there's all sorts going on. Look at this dude from some sort of where are we looking? From like 23rd down. Just constant train of cars.
What I want to bring your attention to is the gap at the front has slowly been coming down. 1.2 seconds this time by. So yeah, Melro matching Svidovic, and actually every now and again just coming in 1/10 of a second quicker. So he's got to be close to being in that sort of slipstream range now, and I think if he can just get to sort of 9/10 of a second, he might even be able to get a little bit closer. So Wojciech not having it all his way, and Verke still there in 3rd place as well. But
yeah,
those guys,
that's a great job by Roy.
Well, I say they've dropped Simmons. Simmons obviously out there running very, very fast and working his way up through the field, but in 4th place he's got Hackerson behind him, who had a good run the last time, so the 2 boosted teammates.
Simmons is only 4/10 behind, 4/10 slower than Wodge at the minute. So,
I think they had some traffic and things the previous lap as well, so yeah.
This lot are still going for it, by the way. Atkinson, Hall, Everett, Newman, McFarlane, Laidler, Blackhall, Smith, McIntyre, Davies, Castellino, it's keep going, Cunniff, Smolensky, Graham, Murray, Roden, Whitehead, Blake and Woodhouse. There you go. That's the longest battle pack I've ever had to read out, but here it is. Don't want to leave anybody out in situations like this.
Yeah, just 3 laps to go. McIntyre, last race winner, of course. How's he doing? 25th out there, tucked up right behind Paul Smith at the moment, trying to get a little bit of slipstream. Can he get by? Smith defends the inside. Gonna have to go around the outside if he's going to make this work. Late on the brakes for McIntyre. That's very, very close under braking, and it's close ahead of them as well. But
Bash
quite got the overlap, has he? Oh, he might have.
Yeah, McIntyre's alongside still. Oh, I think Smith might have just touched the grass on the way in. He's got a good exit though from 2. Maybe able to get alongside through this narrow section here. Don't drift wide. He hits the curb. Does Paul. manages to gather it all up though. Jack McIntyre, a great move from him, moving to 24th place. Two guys have won races this season, Alex, scrapping over 24th and 25th.
Yeah, crazy.
The gap is 1.3 at the front then, as we start the penultimate lap.
Yeah, and again,
Must be nice.
They match each other's times almost spot on. A 1:18.093 for Melrose and a 1:18.082 for Wojciech. So nothing between them.
Must be really nice for these drivers actually, mate, to get some hot laps in, just sort of in some space.
Yeah, no real traffic ahead of them, so they should be good for the rest of the race as well.
You're right.
Done a little look, jumped on, looking at Everett here with Atkinson just ahead of him. Everett got a good exit out of the first corner. Very good exit indeed. Will he be clear even before turn 2?
Oh,
Yes, he is.
he is indeed.
I think that's the key with this car, isn't it? Obviously, it understeers like mad through the corner, for, front wheel drive. It's getting on that power at absolutely the right time, so you get such a good exit.
What a move that was by Ross McFarlane.
Yeah, McFarlane saw that.
Going around the outside of Stuart Atkinson, Jake Blackall, I think, just got a nudge from behind from Rusty Laidler. The Australian had to make a correction. Still, this pack isn't really split up, is it?
No, not at all. Cheppy close to Scott Malcolm now as well.
Yeah, that's for 11th position.
Be good for Stellion as well. Of course, sat second in the championship coming into the event tonight.
Much better race for Malcolm as well. He's not been bashed around in this one, at least not yet.
Yeah. And with Baker out of this one, of course, this could be Stellion's opportunity to perhaps take the lead in the overall championship.
Yeah, Baker had to retire the car, so that's how big that impact was. I thought it might have been though, Alex, when it happened. Yeah.
And those ones are the worst. We saw that happen to his teammate just the last race as well. That was with Hall and Atkinson, was it? I think.
Yeah. Right. Hall was the one who ended up on the wrong end of that. Good race for Boosted here. They've got two cars in the top 5. George Simmons ahead of Ben Hackison. That's a good performance from them. Who else is having a good race out there? CQRS line have got 2 cars in the top 10.
Final lap, final corner for Wojciech then, Andrew?
Yeah, it is. It's gone through pretty quickly, but he started on pole. He was gifted the pole position, Wojciech Savinovic, but you still got to make it count. Still got to take the win, and he does so in race 3. Diogo Melrose finishes second. That's very good. And Roy Ververke, I'm going to put this forward as being the driver of the race, Alex, because only 3 seconds over a 12-lap distance behind Wojciech Savinovic. I think that is very, very good indeed from Roy.
Yeah, I agree.
And don't get me wrong, he's capable of very good performances. I've raced him in the Club Series, and he's had some very strong top 5s and finishes in high up the field, but never with such pace as he showed in that race, the Belgian.
I agree totally. That was close between I think McIntyre and Laidler.
Sorry, man, I know they're still going over the line. Oh God, I've since seen how many of them there were going over the line in one go. It's fantastic. Is there still a battle going on at the back?
I think that's it now. Yeah.
Castellino got Helgeson with a couple of laps to go. He comes across, and you know what? The Frenchman finished in the race, even though he finished the race in 38th. Alex,
points for his team.
Valuable points, but if it's a full, he'll finish. He'll be second on the grid.
Yep, and that's why you want to finish. Some drivers obviously get a bit flustered and things like that, and retire and stuff like that. But it makes no sense, This is what we talk about, even with the Renault series, is understanding how to drive this championship, because this right now doesn't matter. It's all about getting yourself into showdown. So those points and getting those reverse grids and things like that is what matters.
Exactly right. Okay, let's go through the results then. Wojciech Savinovic takes the win. 1.8 seconds ahead of Diogo Melrose. Roy Ververke in 3rd, Ben Hackison 4th, and 5th for George Simmons. 6th was Pete Harrod ahead of Josh Thompson. Good finish for him. I think that's his best so far in the championship. Daniel Kraft in 8th, Sven Glatzel in 9th, and Nickel Foggy again in the top 10. Very impressive by the Scottish driver. Scott Malcolm, another Scottish driver with a good race, in 11th. Stelian Chepelewski in 12th. Adam Hadfield 13th. And Laura Bond 14th. Much better weekend for Laura. And Pro Sim indeed, with Kip Stevens in 15th place. Stuart McFadden 16th for Automake ahead of Michael Hall. Fortunes up to a turnaround a little bit from race 1. Alex Everett in 18th for Fanatec. Then Ross McFarlane 19th. and Pete Newman in 20th. Jake Blackhall, P21 for his team Asher Racing, and then Rusty Lidler in 22nd, ahead of Stuart Atkinson, who, it was okay, wasn't it? 23rd. Jack McIntyre, 24th after winning race 2. Alex Smolensky was 25th, Paul Smith, 26th, and Colin Cunniff up 20 places, actually, to 27th in the end. Nathan Davis, 28th, another finish for his team. Robert Graham, 29th. Lon Murray, 30th. Simon Roden, 31st. That's a good race for Simon, up 9 places. Mark Woodhouse up 7. Andrew Whitehead up to 33rd. 34th, Michael Blake. 35th, Dave Christie. 36th for John Roberts. I'm not exactly sure what happened to him. Starting in 28th. Julian Janowski, 37th. Ricardo Castrolido, 38th. Austin Helgerson had a spin and a crash at the final corner, but he just finished the race and comes home 39th. The car's 1 lap down or more. Stephen Baxter, 2 laps down. Lee Berridge, 3. Jamie Ayres, 5, along with Max Wright. Dave Baker crashed out in the middle of the race. Richard Gore in 9th. Anwar Smith, in 9th. 9 laps down in 45th. Anwar Smith and Cesare Rizzo didn't get past the first lap. Now it's time to see who's going to be on pole.
Indeed, let's spool up the wheel again, and, well, let's hit it.
Speed last the third. It's full. Austin Helgerson will find himself on pole position.
All those falls, and we haven't had one today. Could be coming up right now, though. 26. Yes, it is. There it is. Full.
Well, it's a full, and that means that Thorstein Helgerson, as I said, will be on pole position. Ricardo Castrolido and Julian Janowski, 2nd and 3rd. They've got a good chance from there. John Roberts, likewise, in 4th. Dave Christie rounds out the top 5. And you'll be able to see how they do very, very shortly as the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship returns for a 4th race here on BSR Race Night. Don't go anywhere.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
the final time this evening. BSRTC going to blast around Summit Point, round 4 of the evening, round 24 of the championship. Andrew Woodhouse with Alex Simpson. The 2017 iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Pro Series. Alex, I've had fun tonight. It's been really good so far in the 3 races that we've covered, and plus the 2 Porsche races as well. We've got one final blast. It should be fun.
Yep, final race tonight. Going to be good. Full reverse grid, you know, to end the night with. This is the race where elbows normally come out, and the fall will just make it even more severe. So, yeah, this should be good. There should be lots of great battles, and I think we'll see a lot of accidents in this one as well.
Elbows will be out, kicks, knees, headbutts, everything. I think.
If only we could give people the bird. There'd be plenty of that.
There should be
some different hand signals and things like that. It'd be great.
There does need to be a middle finger button on iRacing, I must admit. Idea for the next patch, please.
It's the most underestimated feature ever required. Trust me. Screw flashing headlights. Who cares about flashing headlight when you can give someone the finger? You know?
I have to say, John Cleland would be on iRacing in a shot, wouldn't he? If there was a middle finger button, it'd be here in no time at all. Whoever designed this corner needs to be taken to a dark room and beaten. It's possibly the best quote I've ever heard from him. Oh dear. Right, we've got 12 laps to go tonight. Oh dear. So many great touring car stories, by the way. Thorsten Helgeson is going to be the man on pole position, with Ricardo Castrolido in 2nd, Julian Janowski 3rd, John Roberts 4th, Dave Christie in 5th, Michael Blake 6th. Andrew Whitehead gets a chance to make a good impression in the final race of the evening in 7th. Mark Woodhouse 8th, Sam Rudd 9th, and Lon Murray in 10th. Looking down at where our winners are, Wojciech Svidovic will be starting from 38th, with Diogo Melro in 37th. And then you've got Selian Chepelewski in 27th, Daniel Kraft 31st. So a few drivers quite a way down should be able to make an impression, Alex, at the start.
Yep, sorry, accidentally hit the pause button on the Audacity there. So, oh god, don't do that.
Dear. Here we go. No pause in the action though.
Green, green, green.
Green light is on. The final time tonight. Ferguson sort of stuttered away from the line. Castrolido got away pretty well, as did Janowski.
Cars on the grass already.
Not Laidler, is it again? Oh, Janowski nearly hitting his teammate, but going around the outside of him.
Oh, someone's on the roof.
Oh, I can hear stuff going on.
There's Woodhouse. He's actually managed to roll all the way around, and he's going to be able to continue, but...
I taught him that.
Simmons is around as well. Oh, Wojciech, he's been caught up in it. That car looks absolutely destroyed. So 3 good races unravelled on the final one. Who else is involved in that? Verke, I think, was involved in that. So, yeah.
What exactly happened there? I missed it all because I can't do that many cars.
Wind it back and just take another quick look at it. So we're just seeing the aftermath of it there actually. So let's go back a bit more. Oh, they're crashing going into turn 1. I don't know who that was. A CQR car, and then they're just massive checkup. And I think there's going to be someone rejoin. Is there? Oh, it just loses it. Yeah, and cars are everywhere, and yeah, just back of the pack craziness, really.
Yeah, there's several cars on pit road at this point. Yeah, a few casualties already. Someone who's not any trouble whatsoever is Ricardo Castrolido, the Frenchman, leading the way from 2nd on the grid. And then the great battle between Janowski and Roberts. Oh, off!
Lion.
It's Dave Christie, and he's in the fence. Oh, and 2 cars off behind. Number 20 is Ross McFarlane. And who's the other one? Is it Sven Glatzel? Who was the other one? Everett, sorry. Yeah, they were well off the track, and so was... I don't know where Christie was going. But, yeah, off. Well off he was.
Well, we'll see Castrolido's pace now because he's out front, 1.1 seconds clear of Janowski. Janowski, no slouch, of course, done amazing results in like the World Series.
He was a World Series champion, and
Yeah.
then he was out, and then he finished. I think he was top 3 or top 4 in the Winter Series. So a couple of seasons ago. So yeah, that was pretty good. Has got the talent. This is what infuriates me with Janowski. Is he is a quick driver. That seemed to put a season together.
Well, Graham up the inside of
Malensky.
yeah, Smolensky.
Removed by Graham. Andrew Whitehead is going well as well in P7, I think. 8th. He's got behind him Nathan Davies, Welsh driver, and then Jack McIntyre in number 47. Won a race already tonight, did McIntyre. It's all spread out a lot, hasn't it, thanks to that the crashes.
Yeah.
Where's Baker in all this?
Baker
Still
retired,
in the
wasn't he?
race.
So he would have been at the back. He's in 28th at the moment, so
Still in-
just in front of Richard Gore. Obviously, both drivers retired the last race, so it's actually been a fair race when you think about it. Like Wojciech, Baker, Gore, you know, they're all sort of sitting inside the top 10. They've all had one DNF so far tonight. The only person who hasn't, and I don't want to curse him, is Stellian actually. So and he's still out there in 22nd place right now. Foggy as well. He's had four good finishes, hasn't he? So
Foggy is a dark horse
Dan
out there.
Kraft as well. I haven't seen Kraft have DNF'd, although Dan's out this race. Well, there's that then.
And now, you know, I can hear there's going to be cries, and you know, it's a bit far forbid me to cause controversy because I've never done that before in my life. But
Ever.
never. But Foggy's there's going to be a lot of calls for Foggy to become a pro, isn't there? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right? However, my argument to this, sorry mate. Oh, Chepelevsky sideways. Goodness me. Nearly losing the car there. Good save it was. Anyway, no, my argument for that though is, mate, I'll just get this in, is he's never right at the front, is he? He's just very consistently top 10, top 20.
Yeah.
And for me, that's not. Don't get me wrong, that could be considered pro, but to me, that's just very, very good driving from a rookie driver in the series.
Yeah.
It's just consistency and not getting involved in anything stupid.
Yeah, you have to look at the last season for example, and we touched on that. And there was a bit of a witch hunt to get Richard Gore moved from AM to pro. And I don't see that it's any different. So, you know, if there's
What's the point
consistency in the
getting-
series, then it's probably going to happen the same for Foggy. You won't want that to happen. You'll want to stay
no.
as a rookie, but yeah, I think ultimately the admins are probably going to make the same call if they go with the consistent.
I think the one thing I will say, oh wow, was Roberts, Smolensky and Helgesson having a great battle on the circuit. And Helgesson round the outside. Has he overcooked it? I think he has. Oh, has he got it stopped?
Yeah, but he's lost a place again.
Oh, he just lost one place, yeah. It was good from Helgesson. Anyway, good attempt. Oh, that wasn't very good. Who was that? Number 31, Robert Graham. That was all over the place. It was Graham there. 44 is Michael Blake. The Alfa Alatech car.
Newman as well. He's side by side with Hadfield and Chepelevsky. Oh, they're very, very close.
I was just going to make the point that, you know, if there's no real point having classes of driver if the person who is winning gets pretty much shunted up to the next class. There's no point. There's no point being in the lead of the AM category. You might as well slum it at the back for the whole season and then make a push like 2/3 of the way through. No one will notice. Do you know what I mean?
Cunning. Yeah, no, you're right.
No, but
You're
you know, they won't think anything of it if someone makes a
later
late
up the
run
inside
to
of Cunniff here.
the title. So I don't know. It's got to be fair, and they try and judge it well. And to be honest, for me, like, he's new to iRacing completely.
Yeah, and as Steve Richardson posted in the chat as well, he's under 3K iRating at the moment, so he falls underneath that category as well. So.
Yeah, he's not. That's it. He's not.
But again, not that affected things last season. Didn't
And I hope us having this debate doesn't accidentally put him into the pro category, because some idiot will have a bit of a joke at our expense and just do that, won't they? But hey, you know what? Regardless, sod it. I hope he gets put in the pro category, because at this rate, the way he's going, he'll win some money in that.
Yep.
But the thing is, that's what I think. He's been very, very solid, very, very fast. He's already up 11 places in this race, up to 18th, and he's battling now with. He's just behind. I think that's Lord Murray in the 50 car. It is.
Having a little look at McIntyre and Blake here. 7th and 8th place, going for a move. McIntyre up the inside, of course. The
Great move.
reverse grid has helped him get towards a decent start, but he's up 8 places already, make that 9.
Great move, Alex. That.
Yep, yeah,
really
late on
well.
the brakes.
Didn't hit the car on the outside. Nice work.
Yeah, good from Blake as well, because he left a little bit of room there once he saw him coming.
Blake's driven well tonight. Drove well in the Porsche as well.
Yep.
And,
It's very close.
Murray into the back of John Roberts. Roberts has to take to the grass to, I think, to stop going wide, to be honest. Yeah. Oh, very, very close in there. Speaking of
net connections and things like that, just check in with Laura Bond as well, because she's tucked up right behind Stuart Atkinson right now. They're having a good little battle. They've got Adam Hadfield just behind them as well. Hadfield gets a good run out of the sort of the complex, as I would call it, and can't do anything for Laura, but Laura up the inside of Atkinson
Biff
gives him a little shunt, which will push him onto the grass.
Is he going to be okay? I think he's going to be all right. Is Atkinson? I wonder if Atkinson's going to have a bit of a lunge into turn 1 here, you know. Just as a little bit of revenge. Oh, look at that. Hadfield trying to take advantage. Makes it work around the outside. That's good job by Adam.
Yeah, Cheppy up the inside as well of Atkinson, and Baker follows him through too. So
there's 4 places in one corner.
Yeah, gutting for him.
Poor guy. After that, although he had his chance and he did a worse start in the history of motor racing.
Well, yeah.
He wasn't. Oh, poor Stuart. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry. Laura.
Oh, look at this. We are 5th all the way down to wherever that is. 13th?
That's
like
a long way down.
Davis up the inside of Colin Cunniff and gets himself through. And he's got Michael Blake just ahead of him now. But yeah, that little gaggle, very, very close. John Roberts just sort of seems to be the cork in that right now. And everybody just wants to try and get by. McIntyre tucked up behind him. Definitely has the pace to get the move done. Gets a good run off the final corner, tucked in the slipstream. 10th of a second separates them as they cross the start-finish line. Has to go to the outside. Roberts is going to defend it, make it as difficult as possible. Both drivers side by side through turn 1. And I think this time McIntyre is going to have the high ground with the inside going into turn 2. We'll have to throw it in there somewhat. Does exactly that. Roberts concedes the corner, and there's battles going on behind. Who was that going miles off? I think that was Colin Cunniff. Right
Cunniff,
off the track.
yeah, in the blue car. Yeah, that's right.
We've got Blake and Davis side by side going into the hairpin. Blake a little bit out of shape. Davis trying to go around the outside. That's impressive. He'll have the inside for the next corner, and should get that move complete. So great driving to hold it around the outside of the hairpin there.
Yeah, Blake didn't want to give that up, but he pretty much had to, because otherwise he would have lost another place to Michael Hall. And Michael Hall doesn't take many prisoners out there either when it comes to overtaking opportunities. He usually takes them when they're presented to him. Good battle out there. Speaking of rookies, actually, we were about rookies earlier on. We've got a rookie in the lead.
Yeah, indeed. 1.8 seconds clear as they cross the line, so just lapping just a 10th or so quicker than Janowski. 3 laps to go.
As he said, the highest I-rated rookie probably in the history of motor racing as well.
Well, yeah. Has Castrolino won a race this season so far?
No, I don't believe he has. So
yeah,
this would be his first win. I think it would be his first podium finish as well, in all honesty, but not 100% sure on that. I'm sure Adam would be able to give you that stat next week. But, number 44, Michael Blake, is still battling hard, middle of that pack, and his adversaries are Robert Graham, Michael Hall, Rusty Laidler, and Colin Cunniff. Cunniff very close to Laidler, he almost hits him. That's Paul Smith in the 16. Just behind them, Smith up just one position from where he started, but it's been quite hard fought at the front.
Yeah, good. a reasonable race. The front little few have just sort of broke apart. We're looking more at this mid pack, aren't we, for most of the action. So from Roberts, really, McIntyre's got through and pulled 1.5 seconds clear from Roberts now, and Roberts has got Davis, who's all over the exit curb in there, trying to get a run, and he does. He's up the inside.
Left it open for Nathan Davis here. The Welshman down the inside. That's very close. It's good driving from both here. Davies, I think he's going to just get clear, is he? No, I wouldn't move across. Oh, goodness gracious me. He almost end up in the trees. The Welsh forests. Oh, look at that battle behind them. That's really close.
2 laps to this one.
We've got
to jump to this one. 19th and 20th. That's David Baker and Stelian Chepalevsky side by side. Baker's just picked up a place there. Gets past these guys, absolute rivals in the championship and on the track today as well. Been very, very close to each other, all meeting along. And
Richard's just behind them as well.
Baker comes out on top this time.
Nelly's got damage. I don't know where that's from. But you've got Ben Hackiston just behind them actually as well. It's a really good pack, this, isn't it? Hadfield's in there as well, looking feisty as normal. Although he's at the back of that pack now, Hadfield, so something's happened to him on this lap.
Yeah.
Look at these two gaggles. It's these two massive gaggles, isn't it, from John Roberts. Well, from sort of Davies Roberts on back, that's one big gaggle. And then from...
What was that? That was Cunniff and... not sure.
Oh, Smith's gained 2 places from that, I think. He says, thank you very much. I'm going to go through.
It could have been Laidler who he hit, actually.
I think it was Laidler. And Smith round the outside of Nico Foggy. It's a good move by Smith.
Right, where is our
3 places
leader?
on this one lap. He's flying as the Yorkshireman.
Castrolido, right, here he comes then. Exits the penultimate corner.
Here we go then. Around the final one now comes Ricardo Castrolido. And he takes the first win of the career for him in the BSRTC. Ricardo Castrolido, former pro driver, comes through and takes victory here. Julian Janowski in 2nd place, Alex Smolensky in 3rd. 2 Bulgarians on the podium. And then an Icelander, Thorstein Helgason in 4th. Jack McIntyre in 5th place. And look at all this lot coming across. Oh, wow. Very, very close. Very close stuff there between Bond and I think Whitehead possibly. Very close together. Oh, I can hear crashing after the line. That's not unusual here.
Not on the final race of the night as well. Everyone wants to hit the jumps.
Look at the 4 drivers who finished in the last 4 positions. Diogo Melrose, George Simmons, Sven Glatzel and Kip Stevens. I mean, there's race wins, there's titles, there's everything between those guys. And, you know, they're at the back of a 30-odd car grid. That's ridiculous. Lee Berridge, something happened to him on the final lap. He finished actually, he got a penalty, so he mustn't have served the slowdown penalty in time. And Berridge drops down to 37th in the final reckoning.
Happen, we've seen that.
Seen it 2 or 3 times actually this week. I hadn't seen it for ages. And this week, 2 or 3 people obviously cutting the course or something and not managing to serve the penalty in time. Actually, it hasn't come into the pits. He's just gone down the straight for some reason. Are we going to get some reverse donuts, I wonder? Might try and do some front-facing donuts. I don't think that's going to work. I do burnouts. I think that's failing a bit. Let's see if he gets... Yeah, he's trying to do something. I don't know what he's doing, but it's not donuts.
I'm not watching it. So.
I'm afraid. No, it's not a lot. Okay, take you through the finishing order then for the final time tonight. The BSR race night concludes with race 4 of the BSRTC, and it was victory for former World Championship driver Ricardo Castrolido. Julian Janowski in 2nd place, with Alex Smolensky in 3rd, Thorstein Helgason in 4th, and Jack McIntyre in 5th. 6th was Nathan Davis ahead of John Roberts. But a very entertaining evening. It looked like Michael Hall, likewise, 8th place for him. Michael Blake in 9th, Robert Graham, P10. Colin Cunniff 11th. Paul Smith made up a couple of places on the last lap to finish 12th. Nickel Foggy, again a decent drive from him. Well, very good drive actually, up 16 places to 13th in the end. 14th Rusty Laidler, 15th Law Murray, 16th Simon Roden. Andrew Whitehead in 17th. Laura Bond in 18th. That's probably her best meeting of the season by quite a way actually. A lot of consistent finishes in the top 20. David Bacon 19th. Stelian Chepolewski 20th. Baker getting ahead of Stelian once more. Richard Gore in 21st. 22nd Ben Hackerson 23rd. Adam Hadfield 24th. Stuart Atkinson 25th. Cesare Rizzo gained 19 spots in that race. That's very good indeed. Scott Malcolm 26th. Pete Harrod 27th. Stephen Baxter in P28. Roy Verke 29th. 30th Ross McFarlane 31st. Jake Blackhall 32nd. Max Wright. Diogo Melro in 33rd. Josh Simmons 34th. 35th Sven Glatzel. 36th, Kip Stevens, and Lee Berridge in 37th. The retirements, Pete Newman, we lost him with 2 laps to go. Dave Christie crashed. Alex Everett, don't really know what happened to him. Mark Woodhouse, 41st. Daniel Kraft, 42nd. Josh Thompson, 43rd. And Wojciech Svidovic, first man out in 44th. So, a bit up and down for Woj tonight. Alex?
Yeah, I mean, he needs 4 good finishes every week at the minute just to get himself back into that top 10, doesn't he? So it's just not happening for him. He just keeps picking up that 1 DNF a week at the moment, and or 2 as it has been in some of the other races. So but yeah, some good results, obviously 2 wins as well, so it's gonna help a little bit on that side. But yeah, I think right now he would have happily taken those wins away and made them sort of 5th places if he could have had like a 20th in that final race or something. The points haul would have been that much greater.
Agreed. And I'm sure it's going to come okay for him. And he's got, like I say, took a couple of wins, didn't he, tonight? So I mean, that's definitely a decent time. Anytime you can do that, right? I think, mate, that's probably all we've got time for, isn't it? We're running a bit over. Running a bit over tonight due to a couple of little delays, so we do apologise for the drivers for no interviews this time, but we will be back next week. We've got Indy Road Course next week, should be great. Just a week or so before the in fact that's the same weekend as the Grand Prix of Indianapolis in IndyCar. Of course, 2 weeks later the Indy 500. We'll be back here I'll start again. We'll be back here on Apex Racing TV at the weekend as well. We've got some good action for you, including the Club 73 Touring Car Championship. Then it all starts again next week. Formula Renault's BSRTC. And on Friday, of course, we've got to remind everybody, it's the Billy Whiz fundraiser for Billy Munger. And that will be Friday the 12th of May. I hit live on Apex Racing TV and hopefully on iRacing Live as well. Alex, it's been a pleasure, mate, as usual.
Yep, absolutely. No Adam tonight, but yeah, back to the ground roots of Apex Racing TV with just me and you going at it.
It's partying like it's 2010 all over again, eh?
Oh, indeed.
There we go. Right then. Thank you everybody for watching. We really do appreciate it as usual. If you enjoyed it, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Apex Racing UK. Well, Apex Racing TV, and of course Apex Racing UK. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Click the little bell icon as well. That's quite important to get notifications whenever we post videos, so they don't get lost in your stream of endless subscriptions and videos that you watch. All right. So we've had a great night at Summit Point, and the BSRTC will return next week, like I said, with the Indy Road Course. But for now, it's goodbye from myself, Andrew Woodhouse, Alex Simpson, and from all of us here at Apex Racing TV. We will see you next week.